for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. What's up? It's our boy Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. True Media Today, USA Boxing. We are back. Just writing down some notes right now. Show notes. Some stuff I want to play. Let's see. Some stuff I want to play. You know what I mean? Some show notes. Rick Glaser will be on in about 20 minutes, guys. It is what it is. Another day, another good day. We're gonna have another good day today, another good show. You know me, man. We bring it every day, man. 7 days a week. It is what it is. And this show today is gonna be a teaching lesson. It's gonna be a teaching lesson because and shout out to, before we get into the show, shout out to Blood Boxing. Blood Boxing did a phenomenal job this morning. I listened to his show and he gave me an idea. I said, you know what, I was already going to talk about this, but Blood Boxing gave me an idea to piggyback off of something that he said as it relates to these fighters. Because a lot of you guys got it twisted about your favorite fighter being stars, right? And this whole star thing has been thrown around by promoters like Leonard Ellerby, by that's his job to hype his fighter up, and by people like Floyd Mayweather and stuff like that. And Blood Boxing says something very key. What's going on today is the Floyd Mayweather carryover, right? This is the Floyd Mayweather carryover. And I'm not going to throw the young guys in this. If you're a young guy in your 20s, this message is not for you, really. It's for the older guys, because the older guys bit off the poisonous apple. It bit the poisonous apple, and you see a lot of old crusty niggas online on YouTube. You know what I mean? I call them the old crusties because they're around my age or older. You know what I mean? They have YouTube channels, or they're in their 40s, and they've been pushing these certain narratives for a long time because they are pro networks, they're pro advisory companies, and they are pro promotional companies, right? And a lot of these guys, I don't want you younger guys in the chat thinking that because these guys are older that they know boxing. A lot of these older guys, some of these older guys, they don't know nothing about boxing. They wasn't even fans of boxing like that. But they just started YouTube channels. They can't tell you, they can't tell you a check left foot from a parry, right? They don't know none of that stuff, right? So, these guys, and Blood hit the nail right on the head. I didn't think about it until he said it. Some of these guys are just fanboys of certain fighters, and their existence is they're hoping to land the interview. They're hoping to land the Tank Davis interview. They're hoping to land the Errol Spence interview. Do you notice that all the capping that some of these channels they do for Errol Spence, he don't do not one interview with those guys? You notice that? I got my balloons playing blowing right. You notice that? My kids bought me the balloons for birthday yesterday. They don't, so all the listen, all the sucking up to the big fish ain't get you nothing, right? And these guys' very existence, sorry about that, on YouTube is they're hoping to land that they're hoping to land that interview from their favorite fighter that they so in love with. So I listen to what Blood's saying. I'm like, you know what, man, Blood, I didn't even look at it that way. He right. That's what it is. That's probably why they deride so hard. And a lot of these old crusty niggas online, they trying to live their lives vicariously because they're nobody in their lives, but they're trying to feel like they somebody. You get what I'm saying? There's somebody like me come along. I've been doing this for 2 years now. I started my channel December 2020. I dropped my first video, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, I started my channel December 30th, I think, 2020. I think I dropped my first video January 2021, somewhere up in there, right? And I come on the scene, ruffle some feathers, and I didn't understand the game when I first started. But now, 2 years, I'm a 2-year vet. I fully get it now. Let me move this over here because the ceiling fan. I fully get it now. I fully get it now. You get what I'm saying? So we finna blow up. We finna bust up some myths. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I told you guys this YouTube shit is, it's about clicks and views, the thumbnail and the headline. These guys know that a lot of you guys are accustomed to being lied to. So, again, I have a saying that I say, when it fits the narrative, you believe it. When it doesn't fit the narrative, you dismiss it. You get what I'm saying? because you've been built up. But let's give everybody a round of applause. I like to talk about the double standards and the hypocrisy. Shout out to Major Key Boxing. Shout out to Knockdown 305. Shout out to Retro Boxing, the documentaries, my brother. Shout out to just everybody in the chat, man. Little Green Eyes P. Everybody, man, everybody. My sister Bless. Salute to you, sis. Drumming for life, Jamario. Let's get into the show. Bruce Gas, let's get into the show. Because I want to read this. This is very important. This is my open soliloquy, right? Unbelievable. Gervonta Tank Davis, Hector Garcia only sold 61,000 pay-per-view buys. Interesting. Now, I'm a very smart guy. I already know what's going to be said. If you're a pro Tank Davis fan, I'm not going to say fan, but if you are a pro Tank fanatic, fanboy, whatever the case may be, you're going to say that, oh, man, this is the lie. Man, Rick Glaser, if you're pro PBC, man, they always hating on the black man, Al Heyman. I know you guys very well. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say Rick Glaser is the white devil. You're going to say he hating on the black man. You're going to say this ain't true, this and that, yada, 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 yada. You're probably going to call Coach a coon, Uncle Tom sellout, whatever the case may be. That's fine. I know you very well. I know you very well. I knew when I dropped this headline and this thumbnail, I automatically knew who was coming. I can tell you how many numbers we're going to have before the show is in. Pretty more than likely, we're going to have about 500 or 600 people on this show today. I know them. I know you very well. I really do. Let's give everybody a round of applause one more again. I know. I already know, right? But this ain't about Tank Davis. Some of you think this is about Tank Davis. No, it ain't about Tank Davis. We finna debunk the narrative, right? According to Rick Glaser, Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia pay-per-view numbers only sold 61,000 pay-per-view buys. The usual suspects, such as Dan Rafael, pro PBC reporter, right? Mike Coppinger, some people call him Mike Coppinger. Ellie Nutsack Sekbach, you know how he feel about the PBC. He love him to death, right? He love that dog meat. And Fight Hype have all went radio silent about Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia pay-per-view numbers since he fought this guy almost 2 weeks ago on January the 7th. Now, the problem is this. There's a narrative that's being pushed and that has been pushed for years from some of these very same so-called reporters and media outlets and YouTube channels that choose to release sources say reports about certain fighters being pay-per-view stars versus fighters who are not pay-per-view stars. This is what I'm attacking today. Certain pro network, promotional and advisory company YouTube channels have followed suit from the people like the Mike Coppingers, from the Dan Rafaels. You know what I mean? Some of the YouTube channels include the Alphabet Boys, the Fagnons, the Ellie Sekbachs. You know what I mean? And some others. There's some others. You know, there's some others, right? Alphabet Boys as well, and their affiliates, right? And they've been doing this for years now. These dudes in their 40s and 50s, old crusty niggas, I like to call them. Old crusties. Now, these same people are moving the goalposts again. You discredited Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers, Dan Rafael. Remember that, Dan Rafael? You discredited Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers with Dimitri Bivol when Canelo sold 1 million pay-per-view buys worldwide. You said that Canelo and Dimitri Bivol only did 500,000, which was a lie. DAZN, which is the company, released an official press release. Where am I going there? This is very important. They released an official press release debunking that, saying, no, they did like 1.1 million pay-per-view buys worldwide. Because when you sell pay-per-views, you're supposed to sell them globally. That's what's so beautiful about an app. An app is global. So when you fight on the app, people have an opportunity to buy. If you subscribe to the app, buy the pay-per-view on the app, you get to watch that fight globally. So it doesn't matter if you get 200,000 in America, but if you get 800,000 around the world, you can say, oh man, well in America, they charge more prices. I said, well, 1 million people is 1 million people. I don't care how you get it. 1 million eyeballs watched it. Are 1 million eyeballs watching your fighter? No. True. Now let's continue. But Dan Rafael, you discredited Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers with Dimitri Bivol. You discredit fighters like Terrence Crawford by saying he's not a pay-per-view star, which is true. He's not a pay-per-view star. I don't think Terrence Crawford ever said he was a star, right? But you discredit him by saying he's not a pay-per-view star because he only sold 138,000 pay-per-view buys with Sean Porter, while ignoring the fact that Tank Davis, Deontay Wilder, and Errol Spence have all sold less than those same 138,000 pay-per-view buys. They sold less than those numbers in their most recent fights. But it doesn't fit your narrative, so you don't want to talk about that. If you're going to use my fighter, my black fighter is a bigger star than your black fighter, because my black fighter selling 200,000-300,000 pay-per-view buys. I'm like, okay, who told you that, sir? Was there an official press release from Showtime like they used to do back in the day? Give the pay-per-view numbers? No, you heard that from sources say. You heard that from sources say. And when it fits your narrative, you believe it. But when it doesn't fit your narrative, oh man, they hate it. You don't want to believe it, huh? Oh, I got something for your ragged ass today, though. Yes, I do. Then you say, well, my fighter sell out arenas, while ignoring the fact that fighters like Crawford and Porter sold out the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. 11,586 tickets sold at the MGM Grand Resort in Las Vegas, and the arena held 12,000. That's pretty much a sellout. While ignoring the fact that Canelo Alvarez broke the record for outdoor attendance in boxing in America when he sold him and Billy Joe Saunders, when he sold 73,126 tickets versus Billy Joe Saunders in Dallas, Texas. Y'all say, well, Errol Spence sold out. He did 39,000 against all guys. Yeah, but Canelo did 73,126. It's not even close. But we gonna point out your double standards, okay? Your hypocrisy. Since your favorite fighters aren't doing well on pay-per-view sales, now you move the goalposts and you say you want to focus on live gates, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. But you dismiss other fighters' accomplishments who are doing well at the live gate as well, like Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Terrence Crawford, and others. Other fighters do well at the live gate. Now, some fighters do better than others. That is true. Some fighters do better than others. But these are the arguments that you managers and promoters be talking about. You know, the sign the contract, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, take whatever we give you. Those guys, right? You seem to only want to tear down non-Showtime and non-PBC fighters, while you only give fighters credit that are signed to Showtime and the PBC. This is the problem. You have a bunch of old crusted niggas they got a cult-like following, and they are network fans. The old crusties. And they are promotional company and financial advisors fans instead of being fans of the sport of boxing. Your double standards and hypocrisy is what I like to point out all the time on this show. And I will continue to do so. And this is why my channel is growing so much, because I am the channel that comes out guns blazing and point out your double standards and hypocrisies. And I don't care who I offend. Fuck the other side. The fact of the matter is this. If your name ain't Canelo Alvarez, none of these fighters are doing astronomical pay-per-view numbers in America. Period. There's only one star in America, from my standpoint, you know what I mean? And that's Canelo Alvarez. Rest of these niggas is just they're good fighters. They do decent numbers, but that's it. All the hyping out, y'all been listening to too much Leonard Ellerby. That's the problem, right? The same guy who told you Roland Romero is a star. The same guy who told you Eastside Pitbull Cruz is a star. He a star because he got his ass whooped by Tank Davis? Roland Romero is a star because he got knocked out by Tank Davis? He's a star now. How he's a star? Like the bar has been set that low? Y'all call anybody a damn star. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Hold on, what my dog barking for? Hold on, see what's up. Hold on, guys, hold on. Hold on, guys, hold on. Hold on, let me check this camera. Oh, that's Amazon. All right. The fact is this, guys. The only way fighters like Tank Davis, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Jamal Charlo, and Caleb Plant would do great pay-per-view numbers is that if they fight top-level competition. Fans ain't buying that shit because you're putting hog-head cheese. You got Tank Davis fighting Hector Garcia. Don't nobody know who Hector Garcia is. Yeah, he gonna do good at the gate, but ain't nobody gonna buy them damn pay-per-views. The fans ain't stupid. This is the problem. On top of the streaming. So it ain't just the illegal streaming, it's your matchmaking. Oh, well, I can just put my fight in there with anybody, and we gonna do astronomical numbers. And then when you don't do numbers, Leonard Ellie mouth closed, Stephen Espinosa mouth closed, Dan Rafael mouth closed, Ellie Sekbach mouth closed, doggone Mike Coppinger mouth closed, everybody mouth closed now. Rick Glaser come out with some numbers. Oh, he racist. Well, we can't accept his numbers. Why? Because it don't fit the narrative. Blood said it best. Y'all been accepting Rick Glaser the numbers for years. For years, this man been doing this 30-some years. I ain't no apologist for Rick Glaser, but I'm saying he been doing it 30-some years. So I'm not gonna listen to him, but I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen to your nut. I'm gonna listen to your nut swinging YouTube channel, the old Crescent niggas from the Alphabet Boys, the Fag Nons, the Boxing She Goes, the doggone Pro Network and Pro PBC and Pro Showtime dudes. I'm gonna listen to those guys. I think not. Now, the fans are not stupid. You can't have Boots fight Karen and tell me that it's a stacked card. You can't have Wilder fight Robert Helenius and think that the pay-per-view numbers would be a success. You can't have Tank fight Isak Cruz, Roland Romero, Hector Garcia, and think that you're going to break pay-per-view records all because Tank can sell out the gate. Selling the gate and pay-per-views are two different monsters. It doesn't work that way. Who you fight matters. I say this all the time on this show. Who you fight matters. The only way Tank would do good pay-per-view numbers, he's going to have to find the right dance partner. And in my opinion, Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, they both need each other in order to do well at pay-per-view. The people are not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. Do you guys think that there's a double standards from media outlets, YouTube channels, and fans and fanboys alike when it comes to fighters who fight with certain networks, promotional companies, and advisory companies? Or do you guys believe not? Let's talk about it. My main man, Rick Glaser, is here. Let's give my dog, Rick Glaser, a round of applause. As a matter of fact, before I do that, shout out to Real Talk. Salute you, fam, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. And I think we got a cash out. Let me get the cash out out the way before I bring Rick on. Shout out to Will. Shout out to William Lynch. Drop another half for Bam Dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna blow it up today. And hold on. Let's give my brother Rick, let's give Rick Glaser a round of applause. As a matter of fact, hold on, Rick. Before we get into the show, I told you we're gonna have about 500-600 here today, right? We got 460. But before we get into the show, guess what? If you my ops, you don't like me and I don't like you, fuck you. You get what I'm saying? And this is what it's gonna be today.
Fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap-ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out of my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
We don't do no dick ride. I don't give a fuck who you is. You know what I mean? I tell you time and time again, I'm the only content creator that would tell you to unsubscribe and leave. Don't need you over here. I'm a very good marketer. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to blow regardless. Regardless who say what, do why did it. I give two fucks. Shout out to my main man, Rick Glaser, man. We just give Slick Rick a round of applause. And whatever issues you have with Rick Glaser, that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. If you don't like Rick, turn away from the show. Don't listen. Bye, Felicia. Let's give Slick Rick a round of applause. Slick Rick, what's going on, baby boy?
It's about you today.
No, man, it's about getting to the bottom line, man. I'm gonna tell you something now. We got a lot of Hamanites in here today. We got a lot of people who hate your guts in here today. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We're gonna roll with the punches, make it do what it do.
I thrive off the haters.
I love them too. They help me grow. I love them too. Rick, you put out a number today. Well, yesterday actually. Tank Davis, I spoke with you Monday. No, today's Wednesday. I spoke with you Friday. I think it was last week, and you told me, I say, Rick, man, have you heard anything from the pay-per-view numbers from Tank and Hector Garcia? You said, Coach, I'm gonna be honest with you. You said that the numbers are low. And I said I
I
heard
said
it was
the number is so low
yeah.
that I wanted to verify it with a second source.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said a
Yeah,
second source, third source, something like that. And you
right.
and you took your time and wanted to make sure that everything was correct before you actually released it. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
because I was shocked because it did even less than I thought it would do. I figured it would do like 80,000 homes, and it did 61,000. I mean, it. I was shocked because when I looked at the numbers, um, and I did a little poll on Facebook with 300 people, and it 27% of the people um said that they were going to buy it.
Mm,
And it's 80. That's would be 81. 80. That's 81 people. So I figured it would do 80,000 homes,
mm.
and it didn't do it. It failed. So I don't know. I don't. I think that it says a lot about a lot of things. Okay. First of all, they're just feeding too much shit on pay-per-view. Showtime is in the subscription business. Okay. So okay, and you got your subscribers. Now you're making them pay more money for ordinary fights that should be on regular Showtime. I think it's a rebellious act. Okay, a stand against pay-per-view by a lot of people saying fuck Showtime. I'm already paying for the subscription every month. Now they want me to pay for ordinary fights. That's the first thing. The second thing is the matchmaking, which goes back to the ordinary fights. They're not fighting anybody, especially Tank, Wilder in his last fight. The piracy is a huge issue. Okay, it's a huge issue. Now, all these LDBCers and Haymanites and all these tank sexuals, as I'm calling them now, they're all telling you that they're supporting their man because they're watching on TV, okay, or on their cell phone, but they're stealing the cable, they're stealing the feed, they're not paying for it. Fire Sticks is killing it.
Mm.
The other thing that's killing it is PBC is now a toxic brand in the boxing business, and people know it. And that's a tie into Showtime is now now in a way toxic, when it comes to boxing. Okay, and
Is
now
that
the
is that
last
is that
thing
is
is,
that is that your opinion?
oh no, that's many people's opinion.
Okay.
That's
Go ahead.
many people has that opinion. And then the last thing is another thing, result of Showtime, why Showtime's in the doldrums. They have Steven Espinoza talking on Twitter down to some people. Other people he's calling, like myself, he calls a liar, but then he blocks me. And he's lost credibility with the people. They don't believe in him. You have to believe. You have to believe in people. People believed in Don King. Most people believed in Bob Arum. You have to believe in people that are asking you for their money. I mean, they're asking you, say, "Hey, would you come up with $80 for your hard-earned dollar for this event?" And it's all. This is all caught. Is Tank a star? Tank is a star at the gate, but the reasons why I'm saying what I am is because he is a star at the gate, and this is an anomaly that he's not selling is because of all these reasons. Where he is selling at the gate, do I believe it's 5 million like the last show? No, but I think it was damn good, and it's a combination of all those things collectively causing pay-per-view not to be sold. And I believe because Ryan Garcia, I'm sorry, Ryan Garcia brings multiple demographics to the table that aren't used to stealing pay-per-view. I happen to feel that fight will do exceptionally well,
Mhm.
even without Tank's help, just because of the fact that you've got the Hispanic community, Mexican Americans, Mexican nationals. You have the YouTube crowd that sees him on YouTube. You have he's got between 9 and 10 million followers on Instagram. So you're going to get a lot of Instagram people buying it. So I believe all those things, and it's a very interesting fight. It's a clash of cultures, and I think it's a fight. I don't know who's going to win. It's a coin flip to me. If I had to say, could Tank finish him later on? Tank could be behind 6, 7, 8 rounds and come back to stop him late. Okay, because Tank doesn't throw a lot of punches. Okay, but when he does, he's powerful. So I don't know. But going back to the pay-per-view, I believe all those things add up to a real issue for pay-per-view. And I'll tell you the reason why I feel some of them are an issue. Because Terrence Crawford, a year ago, November, okay, you know what now, 14 months ago, he did 148,000 buys, which is damn good. Because why?
You saying with Sean Porter? With Sean Porter?
Yes, that was an ESPN branded event. It had nothing to do with PBC. It was an ESPN. ESPN is a great household name in American history. So there's nothing stronger except maybe Mercedes or Rolex than ESPN in America.
So let me ask you this. So, cause I got a couple of questions I need to ask you. So if Terrence Crawford, it was online, he's considered a pay-per-view failure. He did 148,000 with Sean Porter. If that was a failure, so that means if anyone else that sold less than that, according to these guys' narrative, shouldn't that be a failure as well? If you did like 60-something thousand or 77,000?
I don't look at 148,000 as a failure in this marketplace.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying the narrative that goes on social media.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
They insult everybody that's not a PBC fighter.
All right.
The demographics you're referring to.
So for people who may not know you, where do you get your pay-per-view numbers from? When you come out with these numbers, are you lying? Are you making them up? Did you get them from the president, Joe Biden? Where do you get your numbers from?
Prior to 2004, I had another source, but let's deal with the current. Since 2004, my source is an LA-based attorney that is in the TV industry, and he does contracts in the TV business, and he does sponsorship deals and brokers all kinds of deals as such, and that's his sole business. He's not a slip and fall attorney. He's not a criminal attorney. He's a TV based attorney, and I had the pleasure of meeting him through a friend in 2004, and the first fight he gave me was Mayweather Gaddy, which I do believe was July of 2004, if I remember correctly.
Okay. How long has in the industry in boxing, how long has the industry in boxing been accepting your pay-per-view numbers throughout the years, to your knowledge?
2005, 1995, 1996, somewhere in that area.
So since 1995, 1996, some of these guys wasn't even born, and some of these guys wasn't even really watching boxing like that. The industry in boxing has been taking your, and I remember seeing your name. I never knew who you were, but I remember seeing a lot of stuff about pay-per-views. Rick Glaser said this, yada yada yada. When the networks used to release the pay-per-view numbers, I remember seeing some of these things, but I didn't know who the hell you were. Dan Rafaels, all of those guys have been around for a long time. This is when HBO was around, of course. All right, so you get your numbers from a TV-based attorney. TV attorney that's based out in LA. So this is where you get your numbers from. Yep. So if anyone else has any other information to refute what Rick Glaser is saying, do your favorite YouTube channel have any connections that can refute that? Will Stephen Espinosa put out a press conference to refute what Rick Glaser is saying? Please, we are waiting, because I would love to hear that. Now, Rick, where do you see the landscape of Tank Davis did 61,000 pay-per-view buys? The pay-per-view stars in America, there appears to be not any pay-per-view stars at the point, because we heard a lot from Leonard Ellie, my dog Booger Ray. We heard a lot from a lot of these, Floyd Mayweather and stuff like that. But the reality of the matter is, it seems like they have been using a lot of smoke and mirrors, because none of these numbers that they say some of their fighters were doing, or whatever sources say that came through Mike Coppingers or whatever.
I think Leonard invented smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would argue that. If someone say maybe before, it was before Leonard. But my thing is, I heard an interview that, as a matter of fact, let's do this. forget hearing the interview. I want you to tell me what you think about this clip right here. This is Stephen Espinosa on Sirius XM speaking to those guys about why they don't give out pay-per-view numbers. Hold on. As a matter of fact, let me do this, Rick, because you need to hear this, because this is from Stephen Espinosa. This is not from Coach Malachi Williams. I'm not a ventriloquist or anything. This is from Stephen Espinosa. I want you to hear this. This is Stephen Espinosa's voice.
One thing I'll point out, and I don't want to get too much into back and forth, but we're a public company, and there are regulations, there are legal requirements. We can't put out press releases giving fake numbers. I mean, we have shareholders, we have, millions of shareholders. And in that situation, we can't, least of all Showtime Sports or me put out a press release under the name of the corporation, giving out fake numbers for some, reason. So when we put something on it, when we say, look, here's a Showtime Sports press release for Mayweather Pacquiao or Mayweather McGregor, that is, gone through lawyers and, everyone's looked at it. And it's factual.
That was okay. So that's what Stephen Espinosa said. So we do know that a lot of certain fighters that's affiliated with Showtime. We've been hearing our pay-per-view stars. Stephen Espinosa doesn't release the numbers. So you can talk. You can talk till your lips fall off. I'm hearing all of this stuff. Different narratives and stuff been going around from different YouTube channels and different sources say reporters. But the fact of the matter is Showtime is not stamping what these guys are saying. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, because they'd have to lie about the numbers to make it look good. So they have to keep their mouth shut to make themselves look bad. Okay, so that's what the truth is. You think they're going to put out, yeah, we did 61,000. They'd be embarrassed, and they can't lie about it. I called Stephen Espinosa out about it in 2015. About him lying about Floyd's numbers, Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view. I think it was against Andre Berto, if I remember correctly. And he lied by almost double. And he got caught by me. Next thing I know is I was hacked in Twitter, and he stopped releasing pay-per-view numbers when I called him out about it and called it corporate fraud. So it's a form of corporate fraud. So that's just all there is to it. And that's why they don't release the numbers, because they have to lie, and they can't lie because it's corporate fraud, and they're not going to release low numbers. So they just say, oh, we're not going to release the numbers.
Okay. So if the numbers is low,
but
they
managed to do it for Pacquiao and the real good one, which was Pacquiao and Mayweather. They suddenly released it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did.
It was good, but they don't release these other ones because they suck.
They suck.
They're all horrible.
So
just to give you just a little memory, 2.5 years ago, the two Charlos did a double header. You remember that? Maybe it was 3 years ago now. Remember that double header?
Yeah,
they were selling it. Okay, it did 77,000 buys.
So the Charlo twins, the two brothers, supposed to be the superstars in the sport of boxing. One junior middleweight, one middleweight. They, I remember that like it was yesterday. They did 77,000 pay-per-view buys, the superstars on Charlo brothers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. We need 300. We got 217 likes right now. I need 80 likes in order to get the 300. You guys want to call in and ask Rick Glaser some questions? No problem. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna ask him a question in the chat. You got to send it with a super chat. You don't send it with a super chat, I'm not gonna read the comment. I don't care what you say. Send it with a super chat, and then we'll I'll address your question in the chat. But I need 300 in order to call in. So Rick, where is the state of pay-per-view? Also, I agree with you to a degree, but it's another thing that you fail to realize. I don't know if you mentioned it. The fans are not stupid. I've been hearing all along when Tank was leading the Hector Garcia fight was coming up. Everybody was saying this is a stacked card because it had Demetrius Andrade on there. It had Speeder Rashidi on there. It had Jerron Boots Ennis, the second coming of Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Sugar Ray Leonard all combined into one. And then it had Tank Davis. They said it was a stacked card. On my show, I said, that's not a stat card. That's a card with names. Do you know what a stat card is? A stat card is when you have 50-50 fights across the board, and you have guys that, and Boost Ennis is
no. Not just 50-50 fights,
You didn't let me
but
finish.
fights that have meaning and purpose.
You didn't let me finish. You cut me off.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So my thing is, it has to be fights like you just said that have meaning and purpose. But I gave some examples. I remember seeing a card with I think this was like '94. Julio Cesar Chavez versus Frankie Randall. I think this was the rematch. Julian Jackson versus Mike McCallum, right? Azuma Nelson versus Jesse James Layoff. Terry Norris versus Simon Brown. Do you remember that fight card years ago?
Yes, it was. I believe it was actually the rematch between Julian Jackson and Gerald McClellan.
Oh, Gerald McCullough. Gerald McCullough.
Yeah.
I thought it was it was Gerald McCullough.
Yeah, I think it was Gerald McClellan.
Oh no, you know what? Yeah. You're right. Julian Jackson, Gerald McCullough. But it was I meant to say Terry Norris and Simon Brown. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And it was there was four unbelievable fights. They called the Revenge,
the Revenge of the Rematch.
Revenge.
Yeah, Revenge of
something
the Rematch.
like that. Yeah, and it was quite a fight card. Now compare that to the other night. I'll leave it like that.
So my thing is that the fans are not stupid. So you know, if no one knows, if Boots fighting Karen, no one know who that is, and then you're gonna put cards like this on pay-per-view and then expect the people to buy it and then wonder why the pay-per-views don't do well. So I think it's not only just the piracy, but you're not putting together good matches.
Right. Well, you heard the rumor, didn't you?
What's the rumor?
The rumor was that when Tank found out that he was fighting somebody named Karen, he thought it was a woman, and he wanted to fight her.
Not Tank. You're talking about Jerron Ennis. Jerron Ennis fought
No,
Karen.
no, Tank wanted to fight a woman. You get it?
you saying because of the domestic domestic violence and stuff like that. Yeah. Shout out to JBN. He said, Rick, so did Canelo Triple G do 1 million pay-per-view sales?
No, nowhere near. Nowhere near. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it did 780 something. I believe something, but nowhere near 1 million.
The Zone did a press release saying that it did 1 point something million buys worldwide, globally.
Worldwide, but we're dealing with the United States.
But the United States part, you're right, but it's a global app.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. But when I was referring to, I was comparing them to the Showtime app and those numbers. Yeah, just like the deal with BLK, it did like 38,000 United States. They said it did 120. It could have, because they're in a lot of territories overseas, so it could have.
The Zone did a press release. So I mean, that's what they put out there. That's what they say.
No, I believe that. I'm not questioning that at all.
All right.
It's a big world. It's a big world out there. There's a lot of countries.
And shout out to Ray Sanders. He said, does Rick think Crawford was wrong for the stance he took in the negotiations with Spence and the PBC?
Absolutely not. He was 1,000% unequivocally correct. Crawford was.
I wonder what stance he was. I wonder what stance he's talking about.
Well, that he wanted to look at the books, be able to look at the books. He wanted to have hey or nay on some of the expenses. He wasn't wrong. Wasn't wrong at all.
Okay. All right. And we need 36 more likes. 36 more likes. Phone lines will be open. Y'all want to call in and talk to Rick? Go ahead. So, all right. Because what I like to do, Rick, is I like to dispel double standards and dispel these false narratives. So I like to put people on the spot. Where you get your numbers from, Rick? You said you got it from this person here. How do we know you're not lying? Not only that, but you say, have people been taking your numbers for years? You've been in the business for 30 some years?
Have them go. Anybody can go to my website, glazerboxing.com. That's GLASER. And they can go and look at the testimonial page, and they're all the big figures in the boxing business and what they say about me and my truth and honesty and my abilities and stuff like that. So, I think 47 clients around the world says a lot for my credibility.
Well, people who don't like you would say, well, that's your website. Of course, you're going to have some good testimonials in there about you. There are some bad things that people would say about you as well. So, people say that
they can't say anything about my ability. Right. Okay, or my honesty. If they don't like me, That's their business.
Mhm.
I'm not running a popularity contest. I love when people hate me. I thrive off that.
So as it relates to the current day of pay-per-views, what did you see it is now? Because it seemed like no one is really doing any good numbers, especially in America. These fighters who they say are the stars, they do good. So Tank does good at the gate. He does good at the gate.
I'll tell you how I would straighten out pay-per-view.
Mm.
Okay. Only the top matches, like for instance, the fights recently that would have been pay-per-view, like in the last couple years, Canelo and Plant, that should have been pay-per-view. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Canelo and GGG rematch being pay-per-view. I have no trouble with the Fury Wilder fights 2 and 3 being pay-per-view, or the first one for that matter. 1, 2, and 3. I have no problem with pay-per-view. I would be hard pressed to think of any other matches that I thought were pay-per-view. Crawford and Porter was semi-quasi pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, barely. Okay, barely. And I'll be honest with you about that. The buy rate for that 148,000 homes is very impressive. Why? Because it was not available on TV. It was only available through the ESPN streaming app. You couldn't get it from a cable or satellite provider. So they cut out a lot, but they cut out a lot of potential buyers. But remember, ESPN gets 100% of that revenue. They're not splitting it with the cable revenue companies. So if you really take that, that's almost double. So that's like a little under 300,000 if you take it that way.
Rick, can you give me an explanation as to why we have so many non-pay-per-view fights put on pay-per-view? Like this fight with Tank Davis and versus Hector Garcia. This was a non-pay-per-view fight.
Because there's multiple reasons for it. Showtime doesn't have the budget to do all these fights, and they have to put them on pay-per-view. There's one. Okay. The second reason is because they're trying to give you the impression that Tank is a pay-per-view star, so they sell tickets at the gate. Oh, it's on pay-per-view. So they make it a bigger event than it is by saying it's a pay-per-view, so they sell more tickets at the door. Okay. And for higher ticket prices. They make the event seem like it's bigger than it is.
So it's a perception thing. They have to.
Of course. Well, from that standpoint, but the other part is that they don't have the money. The other part is greed by the powers to be. I mean, it's greed because they're trying to make something happen. What they're really trying to do is they're trying to pull out a peanut from the bottom of the ocean. Is what they're trying to do. In reality, that's the chances of some of these pay-per-views being successful. Now, just to let you know, there's a misconception. Okay, I didn't say the event flopped because they seem to do a good gate, of course, but the pay-per-view flopped. So let me get that clear. It doesn't mean they didn't make money on the event because they did do a lot of people at the gate.
Yeah.
But
5 million. Then the guarantees is low.
Don't forget one thing. Showtime does not get a piece of the gate. They only get a piece of the pay-per-view. So there's your answer right there.
Was that pay-per-view global that you know of?
No, definitely not. Definitely. It could have been sold in territories and on TV and other territories, but it was definitely not a global event in the sense it was not on pay-per-view globally.
Okay. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Ray. He said the stances I meant guaranteed transparency, date, so forth. Thanks. Love the show. Yes, sir. I mean, I look at it like this here, man. If you're working on a job, you're not going to work and not know when you're going to get paid and stuff like that. It's certain things that you want to know if you're working on just a regular 9-to-5 job. So for me, it was a no-brainer as it relates to, Crawford stance or whoever on this Errol Spence so-called fight that's never going to happen. Shout out to Ciccarelli. Okay. He said Rick's experience is solid. By the way, he said publicly traded companies must file their quarterly reports on Form 10Q. That's right. You're right about that. 10Q with the SEC. He said, wouldn't pay-per-view profits be a part of that report?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is there a reason?
Well, no. It's not a part of the report. It would be in the report in the sense that it's not broken down, but it goes to the total profit and loss of a company. Yes, but it's not broken down in there. No.
why would why? To your knowledge, do you know anything about Showtime cutting? I guess the budget.
Oh yeah, of course they didn't announce it. They were cutting the budget, but they did obviously.
So when a fighter fights on a certain network that Showtime works with, does that promotional company or advisory company, do they put their money up for the fights, or is Showtime the one responsible for putting money up for, let's say, fighters like Tank Davis and stuff
Well,
like that?
they put up a certain amount for a guarantee of so many buys. Yes, they do.
Okay. Is there a reason why Showtime won't put out a press release on Tank's pay-per-view numbers? It's been almost 2 weeks, and say that, hey, Rick Glaser is a liar. He's lying. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And my name is Steven Espinosa. Or my name is Leonard Ellie. We're going to put out an official press release with the PBC, with Showtime.
Leonard Ellie
that
doesn't have anything to do with this anymore because he's not with Tank's not with Mayweather, but I'm sure that Mayweather is getting money funneled to by Heyman for this, even though it doesn't look like Mayweather and Leonard are involved, but I'm sure Mayweather's getting touched up by Heyman if there's any profits there,
Okay, so my question was, is there a reason why they won't come out and release an official press release debunking what you're saying?
Because it's low. Oh, well, dispute what I'm saying because they know that I'm right. What are they going to dispute?
Okay.
Then I could sue them. I could sue them, and then I'd have them open up their books.
All right, so phone lines is open. Will be opening right now. Shout out to Will. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a dub. He said to clarify something. Did Tank lose money from the piracy? I know you said
Tank,
Showtime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tank would lose money because the star fighters get paid so much per home over a certain amount. So if it was figured to do 400,000, let's just say, and I'm just using figures. It doesn't matter who the fight is, okay, and it only does 200, and his guarantees based on 200, and he gets $8 a home on the overage or $4 a home, whatever his deal would be, that he does lose a lot of money. Yes, absolutely.
So let's say Tank get 1.5 million guaranteed. That's what they release. And let's say he's supposed to get another 4 million on the back end on the strength of the pay-per-views. And Showtime said we gotta sell so many pay-per-views. From what I read, they needed to sell 500,000. Maybe it's 400,000. Maybe it's 300,000. But if they don't,
what it is.
But if they don't reach that mark, what does that mean for Tank? Does he get the rest of the 4 million on the back end?
No, he would not. But I don't know how his deal is structured. Maybe he gets a piece of the gate. Yeah. He doesn't have good representation. His advisor, he's representing him, is also his promoter.
Yeah, talking about Al Heyman. Yeah,
right. So
Al Heyman is negotiating against himself.
No, with himself.
With himself. Yeah, with himself. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, with himself. He's negotiating with himself. So it's like, yeah, I get it. Phone lines open, man. 530-494-9636. 530-494-9636. Phone lines is open, man. Anybody got something to say? Call into the show. Rick, we got 760 people in here. What did I tell you before? What did I tell you before when I called you earlier?
You said it's between 750, 800 for Rick Glaser. Everybody else is 400 to 600.
Unknown caller.
Okay, we got a call coming in right now. Let me see. Let's see what this is. Hold on. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Swift. Coach.
Hey, you got a bad reception, fam. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? All right, call back. Call back. You got a bad reception. We couldn't even hear you. Phone lines open, man. 530-494-9636. Hey, what's going on, Timothy? What's going on, fam? Shout out to Adrian. D-Block in the building. Hey, man, we got Rick Glaser on, man. Anybody want to call in, ask him some questions? He's here. Anybody want to question what he knows? Anybody think that this is some kind of grand conspiracy and you want to challenge him on his knowledge of boxing? He's here. He's here. Anybody got something to say? Just call into the show, man. Call into the show. You know what I mean? He's available. He's here. He's here for a short time. So y'all take advantage of it.
Unknown caller.
All right, let's see. We got another one right here. All right, let's see what this is. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, caller from DC.
What's your name?
Raheem, what's up, coach?
Raheem, talk to me, fam.
No, Raheem, like radio Raheem.
Raheem, talk to me, fam. Talk to me, Raheem, talk to me.
Yeah, it was. No, I wanted to, because earlier I was, all this, Ryan and Tank situation and, all these fights getting canceled. I wanted to ask Rick Glaser, like, if he was the commissioner of all the commissions, what's the one or a couple things he would do to change boxing maybe into more of the UFC where it doesn't matter about headlining? Maybe one card could have Ryan plus, Crawford plus something like that. Like, what do we need to do for boxing for everything that's to come together and all this politics, or it is what it is?
The powers to be, which is ESPN, in America, anyways, ESPN, Showtime, Fox Sports, if they're still involved, whoever, and the promoters, and Al Heyman, if he doesn't call himself a promoter, he's dwelling out the money. He's damn the promoter, and Bob Arum, they all need to sit down in a room and get all this shit straightened out. Okay. That would not be a boxing commission situation, but as a TV network, like an ESPN, I would force that upon everybody to get their shit together, because it's killing the sport. Number one, it's killing the business. It's killing the sport, and none of it's good. If as a commissioner, what would I do? I would like to see health plan for fighters that got to at least a 10-round level, a real health plan, some kind of pension fund where 10% of their money's held in reserve, and cause some kind of pension fund where the promoters have to contribute to the pension fund of each fighter, and it's held in escrow till they retire from boxing, and they get dwelled out, money every year from that pension. A lot of things I'd like to see changed in that regard. More safety, as far as better trained judges. Better trained referees for safety and for the health of the sport. Better trained and better pool of judges. Where we have, for all 10 and 12 round fights, main event and co-main event type deals, these big fights, that you choose from a pool of judges, that you're not depending on some local a judge that you've never heard of before. So come up with the best 50 best 50 judges in North America, and maybe the best 20 referees in North America, and to have them do the bigger fights.
I have two more questions for you, and
Sure.
and I'm gonna keep it brief. How hard is it for a promotion company like Thriller or BLK Prime to come into an established situation and shake feathers? And also, how much technology should be introduced into boxing where maybe the judges don't have to look through the ring, and maybe they look at a monitor, or each round is scored and the fighters know, hey, I'm up that round, I'm down that round. Like, what should we implement? Technology?
You can't have that per round judging where they announce who's winning after each round and stuff like that, or after 3 rounds or 4, every 3 or 4 rounds. You can't do that, because a guy's behind in the fight, he's just going to look to take the other guy's head off in the last 3 or 4 rounds, and then it's no longer boxing. It becomes savagery. So more of a savage sport. So you can't have that. Okay, but going to the other part, you said it's going to be hard to get everybody together on the same page. Okay, but it needs to be done. The sport is getting worse. It's getting worse every year. Al Heyman's had a horrible influx into this business, and it's really killed the business. It's killed the pay-per-view model now. The best aren't fighting the best anymore. I mean, he's got world champions that give up belts. I mean, it's craziness. And just, because he doesn't want him to fight somebody, another promoter's fighter, and it's all ugly, sir. It's all ugly, Raheem.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks, Coach.
All right, shout out Raheem, man. Salute. The phone line's open, man. 530-494-9636. Y'all call into the show, man. Y'all call into the show. pay-per-view numbers on. Pay-per-view numbers. I noticed. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on someone just to come out and say, "Hey, man, Rick Glaser, you are a liar. You don't know what you're talking about. My sources from my YouTube channels told me this is what it is." That's what I'm waiting on. When anybody, Rick Glaser is here. I know a lot of you guys are here. You hate Rick Glaser's guts. This is your opportunity to challenge Rick Glaser's knowledge. You know, if you hate his guts, call it to the show. Call it to the
Unknown
show.
caller.
Call it to the show.
Oh, Rachel Donaire.
Shout out to Rachel Donaire. Hey, okay. Hold on, Rachel. I got you.
Is that Rachel coming on?
No. I don't know who this is calling.
No, I'm not taking her. I'm not taking anything from her.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this Shaka, man. Truck driver from Atlanta. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing all right. Shaka, hold on. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Shout out to Rachel Donnell. She said, how much did Cambosos make in June versus Haney Part 1? They said $10 million. No way top rank.
No, it wasn't 10 million. I was misquoted, or I missaid it, whatever. It was a $10 million gross event. Gross handle was 10 million. The fighters didn't make 10 million, though.
What issues that you and Rachel have? Why you say you don't want to take it?
Well, she calls herself a manager when she's the manager of a singular fighter, her husband, but she calls herself a fight manager. And she's not a fight manager. She's a manager of a fighter who happens to be her husband. If she wasn't the wife, she wouldn't be the manager.
Okay. All right. So whatever issues you and Rachel got, that's between y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But anyways, all right. Shout out to hey, what's your name is, brother? Where you calling from?
This Shaka, man, truck driver from Atlanta.
All right, Shaka from Atlanta. Talk to me.
Hey, I just want to ask Rick Glaser a question. Do he know what the numbers was for Tank and Rolly?
Yeah, but I don't have them offhand. I remember they were 52,000 for Isaac Cruz and him. I don't remember what the Rolly numbers were. The Rolly number wasn't that bad. It was better than these other two numbers, that's for sure. I don't remember what it was.
If you was to do a guess, what would you say? 100,000, 200,000?
A little under 100,000, if I remember correctly.
A little under.
But I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But in the meantime, is the other number? Isaac Cruz did 52,000. That I do remember.
Okay.
That was as low as he's ever done.
The reason why I'm asking, because that article that Coach read I think that was last week, when they were saying that Tank would get $5 million on the back end, they were saying he made $5 million on the Rolly fight, and Rolly got $1 million on the back end. So I was wondering, like that fight had to do some kind of numbers or something if they made that kind of back end money.
No, listen, I don't believe it did over 100,000. I don't remember at all, to be honest. It's sort of a blank, but I do remember that Isaac Cruz did 52,000 and this one did 61. But it didn't do those kind of numbers that those guys made that kind of money. It just didn't.
All right. Hey, shout out to Soccer. Shout out to Soccer from Atlanta.
Thank you.
Phone lines open. 530-494-9636. 530-494-9636. I'm going to say it again. If you have a problem with Coach Malachi Williams or anything Rick Glaser is saying, you have the opportunity to call the show. 530-494-9636. Call the show. Call the show. You know what I mean?
Coach, I missed confrontation. Where is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, maybe somebody will call in. You know, they say a lot of shit in the chat, but they don't want to call in and say nothing. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Troy Graham, Baltimore.
Well, this phone is hot today. Troy from Baltimore, talk to me.
What's up, Rick? What's up, Coach?
Oh, yes,
I got two questions. Good. I got two questions for you. Boxing. Is it possible that we could get a government, a governing body? Because I know a year before I was talking to you about unions and starting a commission. But is it possible we could be like baseball and football and all the other sports?
It's too much of a sport that's from the Wild West. The only way you get that done is to get congressmen and senators behind it, U.S. senators and U.S. congressmen, and really push it and appoint a government czar to get it all together. I believe we need health care for fighters, for 10-round and 12-round fighters. I believe that we need a pension fund. I believe in all that stuff. I'm not supposed to because I'm a Republican, but I do. Okay. And that's the first thing. The second thing is that we need to improve the safety standards, for this PED testing and all this kind of stuff, and where we need to have a long time suspension if people get caught. I mean, because there's no reason for it. It's hard enough to take a punch in your head on your head from a guy who's not on steroids, let alone a guy that is on steroids. I don't have as much trouble with the performance enhancing drugs that increase a guy's oxygen. I don't have. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with it, yes. But when they make you physically stronger, I got a real problem with it. Okay.
Okay, Rick. And the second, the second question is, I don't see the sense in, if you're a promoter, how come you don't want to work with another promotion company? What is the sense in that?
Because Al Heyman's 4 wins and 19 losses against Bob Arum. For example, he's old for life with Eddie Hearn. What's his name there? Heyman.
Did he make
and he's got this closet ego that he's got what they call a closet ego, and he can't have anybody get over on him. And his brand is so Mickey Mouse and so toxic. He likes to keep it hemmed in so his fighters don't get exposed.
Yeah, because you know what, man, this is the last thing. I always thought it was about money, and legacy. Nowadays, it just don't seem like it's about anything. And I'm a diehard fan, and really, I don't watch all the boxing because it makes me sick. I just can't be bothered with it all the time.
You're not wrong, Troy.
All right. Hey, shout out to Troy, man. Shout out to Troy. We got other phone calls coming in.
Thank you, Troy.
Shout out to Dr. Pablo. Hey, okay. He say salute Rich. He say salute Rick and Coach. He said, do you know Errol Spence's Ugas numbers? Also, do you know Danny Garcia and Spence numbers as well?
Danny Garcia Spence was too long ago. I don't remember him. Ugas and did terrible. Ugas and Spence did 129,000.
Ugas and Spence did 129,000?
Yeah, that did real bad. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, Spence 129,000. Okay. 129. All right, shout out to Rockman. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy. He said, Rick, take a call for Rachel for the culture. All right, hold on. Whoever called, we got calls calling in from every damn well, man. Call back. Sorry, I missed the call. We got calls calling from everywhere. Shout out to Rockman. I appreciate that, fam. Phone lines is open, 530-494-9636. Anybody want to call into the show. My thing is, I notice I like to dispel a lot of these narratives that I see going on, and it is what it is. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's happening, Coach? This is John from Colorado.
John from Colorado, talk to me.
Man, I got 2 quick questions here. One, how much longer do you guys see Showtime staying in the boxing game? And number 2 is, do you think MMA would have the success it does now if boxing had its shit together?
I think they're both great questions. I'm going to answer the first one. Showtime. Showtime is going to be dissolved this year as a cable network, and if they continue on, it'll be on the Paramount Plus app where they're presently on, but they're going to be dissolved as a cable network. Okay, later this year sometime. Okay, that's the answer to that question. And yeah, I believe that part of the success of UFC in particular, MMA in general, is because we are not putting on the best fights. And I think that's a very intelligent question. And I honestly believe that we are not putting on the best fights, and that's why MMA is on our ass now. Just the way it is.
That's it. All right.
I see that.
All right,
all right, thanks, Coach.
All right, shout out to John from Colorado.
Thank you.
Rick, boy, you bring them out. Slick Rick, you bring them out. Got 800. You got 840 in the house right now. 840 viewers. You bring them out, Rick. Shout out to Fonz Jones. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat.
Let's get the likes up. We got over 800 in here and less than 400 likes. This is unacceptable. I'm gonna take the phone lines down. Shout out to Fonz. You say, hey, coach, hope all is well. Question, don't PBC fighters make a percentage on gate, all concessions, and merchandise sold? I don't know. That's how they make back end, right? What do you say, Rick?
Each individual fighter has their own agreement, but they don't get any part of the concessions. That would go to the arena. I've never heard of a fighter getting a piece of the concessions unless it's in like some little teeny arena in somebody's hometown in like a hockey skating rink or some friggin' thing like that, some kind of backyard deal. But none of these big events that are on pay-per-view, they get a piece of the concession. No.
All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, coach? What's up, Rick?
How are you?
D-Block, D-Camp, D-C, D-Bill, Baltimore, and
D-Block from Dallas, Texas. Talk to me. What's your question?
What's up? What's up, coach? What's up, Rick? You doing okay, buddy?
Absolutely well. Thank you for asking.
I gotta say, man, I really do appreciate you, man. Like I tell you, man, I think that you are one of the standards out here, gold standards in boxing. You keep it truthful. You keep it real. You don't hide it. You don't lie. You're an upfront man, and that's why I like it. That's why I see a lot of people try to bash you, try to put you down because they don't want to see the truth. They don't want to read the truth.
D-Block, go ahead.
And the PBC are these matchmakers made in heaven. Now that we're going to get Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, what do you think those pay-per-view numbers will be?
Well, I think that you're going to have the general public buying it, and the Mexican American and Mexican national communities here, people in the United States, and I think it's a clash of cultures, and I think it does very, very well on pay-per-view. I could see it doing 500,000 homes, 450 to 500,000 homes.
Why is that? Is it because of the dance partner?
Because what?
Is it because of the dance partner?
Yeah, that, and because of the fact that it's a clash of cultures, that always brings out everybody on both sides. And also because nobody knows who's going to win because it's that good a fight. And also because of the fact that Ryan's demographics don't steal it. Okay? It's the demographics that are diehard boxing fans, which are the Tank followers. Those are the ones that are basically stealing it.
What else you got, D-Block?
Okay, okay, my bad, guys. Rick, do you think that this will? So just one and two questions. It'll be two questions. That's it.
Sure.
You remember when Triple G tried to do pay-per-view events, those first two, and they flopped?
Yes.
Fought, yeah. So they flopped.
Yeah.
And
David Lemieux from Canada. David Lemieux from Canada was one of them. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Daniel Jacobs was the other one. Now, knowing that Triple G was European and he came into the United States and nobody really knew who he was, do you think that this is worse off for Tank Davis, knowing that he was under the Floyd Mayweather banner and he was by Showtime backing him up, and HBO just barely got into Triple G business? Do you think that it looks worse for Tank Davis than Triple G?
100%. Not even a question. Okay. Absolutely. I mean, this is dismal. 61,000 homes is dismal.
All right, hey, D-Block, thank you, fam. We got other calls calling in.
Love it, man. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, if you guys see me on the phone, if you call into the show and I have someone on the phone, I'm not going to hang up on that person and click over. So wait till someone get off the phone and then call, and I'll try to answer it accordingly. I'm not ignoring your call, but I'm not going to hang up on someone because you're calling into the show when someone is on the phone. Just like I'm not going to hang up on you if someone calls into the show while I got you on the phone. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, what's up? It's Reggie. What's happening?
Reggie, where you calling from?
From Las Vegas.
Reggie from Las Vegas. Talk to me.
That's Reggie on Boxing Conversation.
Okay. I didn't catch your voice. Talk to me, fam.
Rick wanted some smoke. So I want to ask Rick, who are you in boxing and who you represent? What company are you with?
Actually, I have my own business. It's called GlaserBoxing.com. I started in January of 1991. I just observed 32 years in boxing full time, and I'm a I'm a world 24/7, 365 worldwide provider of supplemental services to the professional boxing business. I don't represent fighters, if that's what you're asking. I'm not an agent per se. I'm a broker, consultant, and my clients are mostly.
So you're a broker of pharmaceuticals, and that's why you cool with PEDs and shit.
What's that?
So you're a broker of pharmaceuticals, because I heard you make the PED statement and you were fine with it, unless it was something that made him stronger. So that's why. No.
I didn't say I was fine with it. I said I'm not as bad on it because I don't agree with either. But it's the ones that make you physically stronger is the one that I have the real problems with. Is what I said. Okay, but my business, my clients.
One type. But let me say, you're fine with one type of performance enhancer, right?
No, I'm not fine with either. But I'm just saying to you, it's almost criminal. It would be criminal if it was for strength, because you're that much physically stronger. At least if it's for oxygen.
Rick.
Fact that it may make you a little faster or make you go further into the fight, but the other one is an absolute no. To me, it's a criminal act.
I can hear him, but
okay. So I just want to. So that was part of the question, just to get what was your involvement in boxing. So you don't have any boxers, promoters.
No, I have two fighters. I only have two fighters. That's not my. That's not my core.
Who are these fighters?
What's that?
Who are these fighters? Yeah, two of them.
Oh, the name is Arthur Blesnoff. Okay, he's from Toronto. He's 11-0 at 9 knockouts. He's a 10-round fighter, and he was the Canadian Olympic representative in 2016, and he won the gold medal the year before in the Pan Am Games. And another kid named Spencer Wilcox. I work with his manager as his advisor.
Okay, so you're not up in the big leagues yet. So I also want to ask, what do you
big leagues? No, I do business with all the big power brokers. Excuse me. Before you insult me again, I work with all the power brokers all over the world. Okay, in the boxing business, I'm a household name in the business amongst people that are in the business. Okay, I have 47 clients around the world, corporations, TV networks, streaming services. I've been an expert witness in 34 boxing cases. My business is not handling fighters. I do it as a courtesy. Okay, thank you.
All right, that's all you got, Reg? I got other calls.
No. You want to smoke? No. Let me get the last question, because I'm wondering.
Sure. Bring on that last question. Bring on that last question.
You said Rick, you said you want to smoke. Now,
but hold on,
I just said bring on the last question.
Hold on. Y'all, both y'all, hold on, y'all chill out. Reg, listen. I know you want to. I know you want to talk. I know we're gonna get with you to rocks off. But you have to understand, we have other callers calling in. If I let you fill the bus of the show, we're not gonna let other callers call in. So I'm gonna let you.
I'm only auxiliary.
Rick, hold on. Rick, hold on. Let me let Reg say what he got to say. But I need to let him know that. Go ahead, Reg.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And this is the last question. So, Rick, then you have two fighters who aren't at the top of the game. The same insult. This is bringing smoke and asking questions.
Well, they're moving up.
Let me just say this, but you don't have any insights. I mean, you don't have any attachments to being at the top of the game, but you seem to have so much inside information. How are you linked to the sources of knowing where pay-per-view numbers come from? And then
we've already answered this question. You just jumped on. We've already answered this question.
I didn't hear it. Why do you get the source?
Okay, I have my source. My source since July of 2004 is a LA-based TV attorney in the TV industry. Okay. Thank you.
Industry. Why not the boxing industry?
Because what am I going to do? Catch lies?
All right, so we got other calls.
You making this stuff up, Rick.
All right, we got other.
You making this shit up.
Reg, thank you for calling. Well, Reg is on the phone up. Listen, guys, please get to your point. Say what you got to say. We got other calls. I had 3 calls calling into the show. We've been on that call for 6 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out to Reggie Owens for calling into the show. But we got to let other callers call in. You know what I mean? So Please just get your points. I want to let everyone call in.
Unknown caller.
Anyone who wants to call into the show, I want to let them call in, but I can't. You know, we got to be courteous to other callers calling in right now. This caller just called 3 times, I think. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
LC Doss, Omaha, Nebraska.
LC, what your name is?
LC Doss.
Okay, LC Docs, Omaha, Nebraska. Talk to me. Turn the volume down in the background.
Yeah, I had a question for Rick. What do you think about the comments that Stephen Espinosa made about Terrence Crawford basically being stubborn and basically blaming him for holding up the fight?
I completely disagree with Stephen Espinosa. And the next time he tells the truth, it'll be a historic moment in American history.
That's all you got?
Hello?
Do you think that fight happened at 154
No.
or 147?
It won't happen at all. I predicted last July it would never happen. I predicted last July 25th that it would never happen.
All right, salute to you, fam.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Rick, your phone kind of froze up a little bit, but it's cool. I can still hear you. Yeah, man, hey, man, when y'all call in, man, y'all got to be fast, man. We got calls calling in left and right. Y'all got to be fast now. Don't be on stuck. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Coach Tim, what's up, my G? This Tim Stout from Detroit.
What's your name is?
It's Tim Stout.
All right, Tim. Tim, talk to me, fam. From Detroit, talk to me.
Chilling, man. I had a question for you and Rick. With the PBC, how they work, how many pay-per-views would they have to sell for both Bud and Spence to make $25 million apiece?
Let's see. If it was straight up cable without any streaming, $1.5 million, 1.6 million, somewhere in that area.
My next question: Do you guys think that's possible with all the piracy going on at this day and time?
Absolutely not. Not even close.
All right, thanks. That's all I wanted.
All right, shout out to Tim from Detroit. Salute, fam. Phone lines open 530-494-9636. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta let everybody else be able to come into the show, guys. We gotta be able to do that, man. I don't want to be selfish, but I gotta let other people call in. Shout out to Mr. Lowski. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Mr. Lowski, what you say? Shout out to you for the super sticker, man. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Rachel.
Rachel, where you calling from?
God. Rachel Donaire. So
I think we can just get I'm not talking about my management stuff. So my question to you is, from my point of view, I don't think that any boxing promoter is the God sent save all to any of these boxers. I think PBC has problems. I think Top Rank has problems. I think Matchroom, I think Golden Boy, all of them all look out for themselves. And I think you would agree that these false narratives that these journalists keep putting out, for example, what I asked you about the Camboso's $10 million first fight with Haney, right? Who else is putting out this freaking fake narrative that he was getting paid $10 million only for it to get debunked by a lawsuit from his manager and his trainer that he didn't make anywhere near $10 million for the first fight against Haney?
Yeah, I know. The total gross was 10 million. I was misquoted, or I miswrote it. I don't even remember. It was a while ago now, but I missaid it. It was the total gross handle for the event was $10 million. So it was not. Nobody made 10 million.
No, I'm not just saying you, Rick. That's not what was reported, is what I'm saying. So there's certain journalists. Well, actually, all the journalists and a lot of the YouTubers that try to get credentials, if they had either A, said the truth, or B, said a truth that is against the promotion, their credentials get cross-canceled out, and they don't get access to the fighters anymore. Yeah. Don't you think that's a little bit, it's not being able to report the fair truth, when if you do say the truth, you're going to get X'd out of your job?
Well, just to let you know, they're not getting X'd out of their job. They're just not allowed to attend that event. Basically speaking, is that started with PBC. That was an Al Heyman move. That was never done before in boxing. So, I mean, listen, Mike Katz and Arum had a problem years ago. Mike Katz sued Arum, I think, or Arum sued Katz. I don't remember. Mike Katz, the writer who's now retired. And he still let him come to his events because the guy had a job to do, and Arum respected he was doing his job, even though they hated each other. So that all started with Al Heyman. I mean, Rachel, a big root of the problems in this business today are based on Al Heyman. That's just what the facts are. I mean, it's just what the facts are. Everything points that way. And every promoter will say that behind closed doors. They've told me that themselves. Everybody's told me that. So, I mean, everybody can't be wrong.
Well, I don't know. Well, no,
Rachel,
I don't know why anyone's hiding the muffin at all. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying from being with Top Rank and working with Al, working with Richard, it's not like either one of them are the golden goose of freaking boxing.
No, nobody's saying that.
Things that haven't given us fights either. And the fact that, like I said, that there was a news report that was sources say, I'm not even quoting you, sources say 10 million for Kambosos the first fight. First of all, no one's going to say that from the PBC side. Their Top Rank's going to leak that to whoever they want to. But why are they leading us on saying that these are persons that were overinflated?
Top Rank didn't leak that. That was put out by George himself. Just to let you know.
I think I heard something like that through I'm not sure, but I could be wrong, but I think Mike Coppinger put something out there like that. Some of the usual suspects, maybe the Dan Rafaels, whatever, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was Mike Coppinger, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that, Rachel, that's a valid question. These reporters who, if they don't toe the company line, you know, I can say it because I don't give a damn, because I ain't got no relationship with nobody. I don't give a fuck about Top Rank. I don't give a fuck about PBC, Matchroom. I don't give a damn about none of them. I'm good. But I think what she's saying is some of these reporters, like Fight Hype, they are pro PBC. Some of these reporters, you know, Dan Rafael, I say he's pro PBC as well. Mike Coppinger, he may put out something that's favorable. He's pro ESPN. And what happens is, I think what she's saying is, when you don't toe the company line, some of these reporters, they'll say whatever they want, these companies want them to say, whatever that may be, in order to keep their press credentials. I think that's what she's saying.
Yep.
Am I right, Rachel?
A lot of truth to that.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and I think it's completely for both sides. I had some guy, a journalist that wanted to go to the Teal fight, but he's blackballed because of what he said about Top Rank. And that was just, 2 months ago? And I don't think that's fair. You should want both haters and supporters and neutralists to come to your fight and report it as is. But to, quote unquote, buy allegiance by allowing them to get a credential if they speak highly of you and inflate numbers is what confuses the fans. And it's not fair to the fans and to the fighters who see an imaginary number that Kambosos is making 10 million, and you're an amateur trying to sign with a company, and you're like, wow, he's making that much, and he actually isn't. This is where the fighters think they're worth so much more. Yeah. And because of these numbers that are being put out there by the press.
Yep, floated out there, as I call it. That's
all right. Rachel, thank you so much for calling in. We got other calls.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, sis. Thank you. All right, shout out to Rachel down there. Shout out to Bowley. Hey man, let me drop these. Let me end the phone line, man. Hey, y'all ain't working. Dog, we got over 800. We got 850 people in here, and we don't have 500 likes. Man, that's some bullshit. Man, the phone line's down right now. We got to get the likes up. Shout out to Bowley. Hey, okay. Dropping another half for bam, dub on your boy. I need 500.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat.
I need 50 more likes. 50 more likes. Bowley, what did you say? You say, please clarify Tank's demographic doesn't buy pay-per-view comment. And how do you know who is stealing? And you say, for the information,
they admit it. They admit it. They brag about it on the internet. All the LDBCers, the Haymanites, all these people, they brag about it. Talking about it. I mean,
I know my family. Everybody got 5, 6. They don't buy pay-per-view. I know that for a fact. So shit. But anyway, he say Ryan's demographic doesn't buy pay-per-views because he's never been on one. Also, pay-per-views are sold on apps. What say you?
Pay-per-view. What's that? What was the last part of it?
He say pay-per-views are sold on apps.
Well, I'm sorry. Ryan Garcia will draw on pay-per-view because he's got between 9 and 10 million followers on Instagram. He's big on YouTube. He does 1 million interviews, and he's well-spoken, and he will draw big numbers on pay-per-view. Whether he's been on pay-per-view in the past, but he was never a main event.
So as
he was always an undercard.
So as it relates to his first part of his question, he said, "Please clarify Tank's demographic doesn't buy pay-per-view." Comment. So Tank's demographic. What do you mean by that?
Just the LDBCers, the Haymanites, they all brag about it. Everybody, they go on the all kinds of social media, including YouTube, under the comments. You look, oh, I didn't buy it. I stole it. I streamed it illegally. I got a Fire Stick. I did this. I did that. I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah. A lot of people online
they indict themselves. They tell on themselves.
A lot of people online do say that they're not buying the pay-per-views. And my thing is, if he did 61,000, I think that kind of like speaks for itself. If he did 61,000 pay-per-view buys, that speaks for itself. So, hell, Wilder did 77,000. Ain't none of these dudes no goddamn stars. Ain't none of them selling. In my goddamn opinion, from what I'm saying. Shout out to Boxing Gyms. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy. He say, "Salute, coach. What up, Rick? Just he say just paying where I play." Okay, salute to Boxing Gyms. And we need 6 more likes. I'm gonna open up the phone lines once we get to 500. We need 6 more likes. Again, like I'm gonna tell you guys from what I see. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, perfect example. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence has an urban demographic. They have an urban demographic, and I don't think if they fought each other, they're gonna do 600,000-700,000 pay-per-view buys. I think maybe they can do maybe 300 or 400, but I just feel like that if you don't have a crossover demographic or have something that's going to make people want to like kind of similar to what Canelo has more of a crossover demographic. Of course, he has a 100%. A Mexican fan base, but he has a white fan base. He has a black fan base as well.
But also, this is another thing is when Canelo fights and Tyson Fury fights, general sports fans will watch, where they're not watching for Tank Davis.
Well, Tank does do, like you said, he's box office at the gate. But I'm trying to figure out. No, this is a question I got for you. All right, Tank is box office at the gate, but his pay-per-view numbers haven't been looking well, right? For whatever the reason may be, me personally, I say that a lot of people are streaming. That's one, but two, they're not putting him in
with competitive fights.
Yeah, competitive fights.
They're big underdogs.
Yeah. They're big underdogs. He's fighting these no-name guys, and now they're saying they're stars because they're getting beat by Tank. But as it relates to Ryan Garcia has never done a pay-per-view before in his life. That's a valid question. So
as a main event.
Well, when has he done a pay-per-view, period?
He's been on Canelo undercards as co-features and third fights and opening bouts and stuff like that.
Okay, so he's been a co-feature on Canelo's, but I'm saying if Ryan Garcia do a pay-per-view, we don't really know how to gauge what his metrics would be, whether it'll be successful or not, because he never done one before. So you are of the opinion that his crossover appeal, because he has commercial endorsements, he has a big huge social media following like a Jake Paul or something like that. You are of the opinion that following that Ryan Garcia has would transfer into him doing pay-per-views.
Also being a real fighter. He's a real professional fighter. The guy's undefeated. He's very good. He's heavy-handed. He's beat 3-4 good fighters already. Okay, Luke Campbell he beat Duno, knocked Duno dead in one round. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jake Paul's working with a big disadvantage. He's not a real fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only way we'll know what Ryan Garcia will do pay-per-view once he fights Tank Davis. And I,
Right.
you know, we like, so I get what you're coming from, but we won't know because he never done it before. Phone lines is open, man. 530-494-9636. 530-494-9636. We got over 850 in here. More than what I thought it was going. I figured it was going to be about 700-800, but I knew this very well. Anybody want to call into the show? Call into the show. Please hit your points. Say what you got to say. Hit your points and be fair to other callers who want to call in. So Rick, I know I had you for a minute. I want other calls to call in so they can ask you a couple of more questions before I let you go. But doggone, again, I like Ryan Garcia. I don't know. In my opinion, Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis need each other because the boxing fans, the people who are fans, they're not stupid. Everywhere I go, people ask me questions about Tank. They ask me questions about Ryan. Is that fight going to happen? They ask me questions about Crawford and Spence. I tell them that fight ain't going to happen. That's dead in the water. That's over with, right? So they know who Tank is. They know who Ryan Garcia is. And I think both of these guys need each other because they are big names within themselves. That's what's going to attract the boxing fans and casuals alike, because Tank will finally be in a fight that people may feel is 50-50. He won't be a 16-1 favorite or a 20-1 favorite over someone. He'll be fighting someone that's looked upon as just as talented as him, but with a different skill set. What say you about that?
Yeah, it's an even fight. It's 50-50. Like I said, Tank can be, Ryan could be 8 rounds ahead and get caught with one punch and knock the fuck out. Yeah. So it's going to be a hell of a fight. Don't forget, Tank was in a great fight with Leo Santa Cruz, an older, undersized guy. He was in a real good fight with Rolly until Rolly got stopped. He was in a real good fight.
Hold on, caller. Hold on. Do not hang up.
With Hector Luis Garcia until he got stopped. So yeah, it's gonna be something that's gonna be a really good fight. That's what part of being a big draw on pay-per-view is. Nobody knows who's gonna win. They think they know who's gonna win, but it couldn't go either way. It's no 20-1 fight or 50-1 and all these other crazy figures they've been putting Tank in with.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? This is Blood Boxing. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, my brother, man. Blood Boxing, man, from Gainesville. Talk to me, fam. Talk to me. That's my main man here, man. Talk to me.
I'm going to say this because I'm just going to go ahead and make this real quick. First of all, as a fight fan of 40 years, I want to say that I find your numbers to be my number one source of information, Rick, to receiving numbers, because nobody questioned your numbers before all these social media pretenders decided to start their online businesses. The original source is always the best. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions here. Now, is it safe to say that Canelo is the only pay-per-view star in America, considering he is the only current fighter that seems to have appeared in top pay-per-view events? And which factor has harmed pay-per-view the most, between piracy and the fighters simply not fighting the best? And one last question, who bears the biggest blame in the decline of pay-per-view between the fighters, the promoters, and the networks? And those basically are my questions there.
Okay, well, so start with Canelo. Canelo is the biggest draw by far. There's not even a question about it. Nobody else at pay-per-view star. Fury needs Wilder. Wilder needs Fury. So without a dance partner, Canelo's still the best pay-per-view draw on his own. Okay. Going to the question about the pay-per-view, what are the factors? It's a combination of all the things that I mentioned earlier on the show. Did you listen earlier?
Yeah, I've been listening. Absolutely.
Right. So I think it's a combination of all those things, and I blame the promoters, I blame the TV networks and the fighters for the demise of pay-per-view. And of course piracy, which is technology. But it's amazing that the TV networks haven't caught up with the technology to stop it from getting stolen. That I find a little amazing, to be honest with you. So I think it's a combination of. Continue.
Right. Go ahead.
No, I think it's a combination of everybody's fault.
Okay. Also, I'd like to thank you for mentioning this, but in the late 1970s, ABC Sports shut down the United States Boxing Championship tournament. CBS followed through, shutting down their own tournament until boxing got their shit together. So having the network place a demand on the promoters is something that stood strong in the past. So thanks for making that point. This is my last question. I'm out of here. Why is it that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones could do high numbers on an exhibition and these so-called superstars are struggling to do 100,000? Is this proof that the fight game has targeted the wrong crowd, which is the internet generation, instead of focusing on the traditional fight fans such as myself, Coach Malachi, you? Do you think that that's proof right there? I mean, Tyson and Roy Jones,
that's part of it. That's part of it, but I've always felt that in recent years they've targeted the internet diehard boxing fan who's going to buy it or steal it. Okay, where they're not reaching the general sports fans. And why I'm saying that is Showtime and CBS are owned by the same parent corporation called Paramount Global, and you never see CBS advertising on that. But I mean, like doing any programming for pay-per-view. In other words, even on their national news at 6:30 to 7 o'clock, they never mention anything about pay-per-view boxing. They can show the weigh-in. They don't do anything. And when you do a pay-per-view event, you've got to get everything together and all your outlets and all your tentacles and bring them in under one roof and say, we're all doing this together. And they're not doing it. That's also killing the pay-per-view is non-cooperation. Showtime that getting cooperation from CBS.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks, Coach. Talk to you later, Coach.
Shout out to my brother Blood Boss, man. Salute. Let me get this out the way, and I want to ask you a question myself. Shout out to Manny Ruiz. He said, all respect to Rick. I've been following boxing politics for years. Rick and Steve Kim have been right on Al Heyman. On Heyman. Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm mentioning the same sentence as Steve Kim, because I'm very high on Steve Kim. Great guy, and knows his shit. Knows his shit.
Rick, I have a question for you, but I asked you this question before. But this is for the people in the chat who may want to know what kind of personal issues that you have with Al Heyman.
Well, we discussed this on a previous show, but to reiterate, we had a run in 20 years ago, 2001, 2002, and
but you met Al Heyman. You met him personally.
Oh yeah, I did business with him, but reluctantly.
Okay. All right, go ahead. So what happened?
I was right, he was wrong, and he never congratulated me after the fact, and he treated me like a fucking like dirt on his shoe. So I guess I've been getting even ever since.
Okay, so you holding a grudge?
Absolutely. I don't listen. I've never denied it. But if he was doing, but at the same time, if he was doing good things, I would say so.
All right.
Okay? Goes both ways. The pendulum swings both ways. Okay.
Hold on. Wait. Did I read that super chat, Rick? The yellow one?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Manny. $10. Thank you, Manny.
Hold on. Thank you, Manny. Hold on. We got another call calling in. Phone lines is down until we get the lights up.
With $10, you can't even buy eggs.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Coach? Man, salute, man. Salute. It's Cassidy, man. What's up, man?
All right, Cassidy.
I can't hear him. We can't hear
you, but talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what's up, man? What's up, Coach, man? I didn't want to be on no long team. I wanted to ask Rick, brother, why the fuck don't we see Al Heyman? Why does he fucking come out of his fucking cave and come and talk this about what the fuck is going on? Why don't we ever hear from this guy? Why is he just buried somewhere? I don't want to hear about. He doesn't want to be seen with some bullshit. If you got such a grip on the sport of boxing and you're controlling so many fighters, over 200 plus fighters, why don't we ever fucking see this guy? I know he's got representatives talking for him, Tim Smith, the VP, and all this other shit. But why don't we hear from this guy? A statement. Why don't we hear anything? You don't see the guy.
That's his modus operandi. That's how he operates.
So basically, what he's saying is why we don't see Al Heyman.
That's how he operates. He operates from a closet on a flip phone.
All Anything else you got, Cassidy?
Yeah. Well, what we like? Obviously, we already know that you say this already, coach. That the promoters and the suits of the sport, the politicians of boxing, they're the ones that are fucking up the sport. I've already trying to confirm this. Like, what do we have to do as a whole, as a group, as a family of boxing? When I mean family, as in
I think we're doing it right now by not buying the pay-per-views. I think everybody's doing it right now by not buying pay-per-view.
Angry, I buy the pay-per-views because I love the sport, but I only buy the pay-per-views when they give us what we want. Give us what we want. Give us what we want.
So then you're part of the protest, because if the fight's not top shelf, you're not buying it. I don't blame you. And if, as long as you keep doing that, more people keep doing it, the networks will take notice and say, hey, we're putting on crap.
All right, hey, but listen, Cassidy, thank you for calling into this. We got other calls. Sure. Go ahead.
One more question, coach, man. Thank you. Sorry about this, man. Do you think that we're gonna get this Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight? Why is he posting pictures of the contract?
I don't know. The answer to that question, I don't know. The answer to that question, I have no idea.
Okay.
Get it. I don't know, fam.
Thank you, sir.
All right, shout out to Cassidy.
Thank you, coach.
Yeah, we need 48 more likes. Rick, I know I had you on here for it. God damn, I had you for about an hour and a half. I had you here for almost an hour and a half, Rick. I think I asked you everything that I wanted to ask. You did answer the question as related to what's your issue with Al Heyman. You met him personally. So a lot of you guys are online. Some of you guys have never met Al Heyman. I wanted to know because Rick, hold on. We got one more call. One more call for Rick, then I gotta let him go. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Rafael from Toledo.
Rafael from Toledo. Talk to me.
Yeah, the pay-per-view game is not what it used to be. I heard a little bit of it, but I was waiting to get online. Yeah, nobody is selling like Floyd and Manny Pacquiao did. With Canelo Alvarez, what was his last fight against Plant? Like 800,000?
Yeah, something like that. Yep. I think it was a tad under 800, but the high sevens, if I remember correctly. Yep.
Right. Thank you, Rick. And before that, it was like about 500,000, and then I want to say one of those fighters, he only did like 200,000, right? I think like 2 fights before.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that because before a couple of those fights, he was on regular zone on subscription, so they weren't on pay-per-view. So I hadn't heard that. They did.
Right. You're right.
They did have pay-per-view if you weren't a subscriber, and it may have done over 200,000, which you're referring to, I think, if you weren't a subscriber.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, and that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, nobody is doing pay-per-views, like that anymore. I just want to say, real quick, I love your show, Coach Malachi, and for Rick, I love how you Bernie the Boxer made up Earl Sexuals, and you made up the Haymites. I love that. I'm a fan of
Earl Sexuals. Thank you.
All right. Hey, listen. Hey, shout out. You got. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. You got something else you got to say?
Yeah, just all I'm gonna say is for Bud and Earl, it's Earl is really not the A side because he hasn't even done no 500,000 pay-per-views that I can remember. To me, it's not like Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard when going in the Olympic American hero. Sugar Ray Leonard was like he was the golden boy, at the time.
You're right. He's right.
Tommy had to take a cut. To me, Bud and Earl is an even fight. You know what I mean? But Bud, he's willing to just to get the fight. That shows everybody he's a true champion. He's like, I just want to fight. I'll take whatever.
He shouldn't do that, but you know what I mean? He's going for legacy, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
Rafael.
agree.
Rafael,
Thank you.
Rafael, thank you for calling the show.
Thank you.
And then, hey, Rick, I know you gotta go. I know you gotta go, man. You know, Rick, time is pressed. I know you gotta go. Thank you for being here this long. I told you I was going to keep your hour. It's been over an hour. Anything else?
How many people are watching?
We got 830 right now.
How you doing in the super chats? I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at them. I'm just
trying. And any of you guys putting this $1.99 and $2, don't forget inflation. You know what eggs cost these days? And milk? Come on now. You ready?
Anything you want to hold on? Anything you want to say before you leave?
My Twitter handle is @RealRickGlaser1. There's a lot of fake Rick Glaser accounts out there. Be careful. This has got about 5,600 people on there, and it started in January of 2020. And I love being on your show, Coach. Look forward to it. Next week I'll be in California, and maybe we'll do the show from out there. Okay.
All right. Salute, Rick. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come on. Yes, sir.
You're always a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Rick Glaser's gone. Rick Glaser's gone. You know, guys, when I have people come on the show, people do have stuff they have to do. They take the time out to come on the show. They can't stay for 3-4 hours and stuff like that. So I try to respect people's time. When I have guests on the show, I try to let everybody call into the show, say what you have to say, but I can't let you filibuster the show. I'm not going to let you filibuster the show. I don't let nobody filibuster my show. You know what I mean? So that it just doesn't work that way. Maybe on other platforms you can do that, but over here we don't do that over here. You know, just hit your points and let the guests answer it the best of his ability. Whatever issues that you may have with a certain guest that I may have on, those are your issues. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. And whatever issues that the guests that I have on have with you, that's between him and you. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. You know what I mean? So just to let you know, just let anybody know, anybody feeling some type of way about who I have on my show, there's two things that you can do. You can unsubscribe and don't watch my shit no more. It's simple as that. I will replace you. I'm very good at what I do. See, we got over 800 in here today. Apparently, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Let's give everybody a round of applause. And I'm a small channel. You got channels that got 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 subscribers, and I'm getting just as many people to come to see my show than they are. Ask yourself that question. How was a small channel, a guy who's been doing it for 2 years, is doing numbers just as good as guys who've been doing it for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years? Ask yourself that question. Shout out to Midwest Boxing. Hey, okay. For dropping that. Bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
We need 18 more likes. Phone lines will be back open at 18 more likes. You say never denied it. You say you two are brutally honest, and you two have a great dynamic. Great show, Coach. Yeah, I appreciate that, fam. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to Rock Bond. Hey, okay. For dropping that half for bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He say if you two content creators are fan club presidents, if they all collectivize, he say they could unite the fan base and get the fights we want. They could also motivate fans to support boxers. Yeah, I think what it is this is what it is. You have a lot of we'll say the few YouTube boxing is small. The YTBC is small. So you have content creators who some of them pledge allegiance to promotional companies. Some of them pledge allegiance to networks. And again, this channel right here, we're the only YouTube channel that have commandments, and we're the only YouTube channel. I have a boxing criteria that I go by. So some of these channels, they don't have boxing criterias. Their criteria is, if you're black, we'll support you. If you're Hispanic, we'll support you. Because you have pro-Hispanic channels out there that don't like black fighters. This is true. We have black fighter channels out there that don't like any fighter that's not black. That is true. And then we have some black channels out there. They don't like they like certain black fighters, but they hate on other black fighters while screaming racism from non-white fans in boxing. So you have that dynamic. And then you have white boxing channels. I don't know any. I think I maybe one or two. They may feel some type of way about Hispanic fighters and black fighters as well. So you have all of these different things that have nothing to do with boxing. A lot of these people, they have their own issues. Some of these people, they have daddy issues. They may not have a father that was in their lives. Some of these people, you know, they come to YouTube for leadership. Me, I don't give a damn about no YouTube channels. I mean, like, what I mean by that is I got a couple that I rock with, but I'm not D-riding no YouTube channel. I tell them quick, you can unsubscribe and leave anytime you want to. Care nothing about your friendship. All of this YouTube shit fake any goddamn way. When I say fake, I mean a lot of these so-called friendships online, they really ain't real. They friends with you until as long as you're agreeing with them. And as soon as you disagree with them, they'll make videos about you and start dissing you. I've been on it 2 years. I've seen it. But salute to you, fam. So it is what it is, man. Yeah, if you get up, and I say it time and time again, if you stay on the side of boxing, you can never go wrong.
True, true, true.
If you stay on the side of boxing, you can never go wrong. I say this time and time again. So I see it for what it is. I call it for what it is. Shout out to Jamario. Hey, okay. Dropping out of half for bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
We need 4 more likes to get to 600.
Received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Jamario, what did you say? You say, great show, coach. You say, Rick, what do you think the state of boxing? Oh, yeah, he's gone now. What do you think the state of boxing would be if they had a governor like Dana White? I think they kind of answered that earlier. I forgot what he said. I got to go back and listen to it. He said, because it seems like Dana White makes all the top fights in the UFC and he's thriving. Well, a lot of people don't like Dana White because they feel that, hey, Dana White, his fighters ain't making no money, as though fighters, but there's a lot of boxing. There's a lot of fighters in boxing that don't make no goddamn money. You know what I mean? The money that Canelo Alvarez make is not the norm. The money that Anthony Joshua make is not the norm. The money that Terrence Crawford make and Errol Spence and the Tank Davis make is not the norm. You know, those are like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. That's not the norm. Hell, if you take the top heavy fighters, the top guys, and you compare it to you have upper tier fighters, mid tier fighters, and lower tier fighters. I put them in tiers. You have more lower tier fighters than mid tier and upper tier fighters. You get what I'm saying? In America, there's only one star in America in boxing. That's Canelo Alvarez. This Canelo Alvarez and it's everybody else holding this jock strap. And I'm not saying this because, oh, this nigga coon, Uncle Tom, he's selling out for the white man. If you feel that way about me, then guess what? Stop fucking watching me. I don't give a fuck about you niggas who don't like me. I don't. Whether it's a YouTube channel or not. Friend or foe, don't make me know, never mind. But my thing is you know, these are the facts. What y'all got to stop doing, you got to start when it doesn't fit your narrative. If it doesn't fit your racial bias or your racial narrative, you know, a lot of you guys, because it doesn't fit your racial narrative, you don't want to accept it. I get it. I understand. Some of you dudes live your lives vicariously through your favorite fighters, but you still broke at home. You still ain't got shit going on in your life, and these fighters don't give a fuck about you. Remember that. Bob Arum don't give a damn about you. Al Heyman don't give a damn about you. Eddie Hearn, Top Rank, Matchroom, they don't give a damn about you. These guys are multi-millionaires. Your broke ass is at home glorifying them. They don't give a damn about you. Remember that. When you got this type of money that Al Heyman has, Eddie Hearn has, Bob Arum has, you know what color they see? The only color that they see is green. The broke motherfuckers at the bottom see the skin color politics. And I tell you guys this time and time again, this is why a lot of these motherfuckers don't like me.
True, true, true.
Yeah. I'm not gonna push a narrative. I give a fuck. Listen, I give a fuck about a subscriber, dog. I run a subscribe off the block in a minute. And a YouTube channel, I run his ass off the block too. You don't like me, get the fuck on. I ain't asked you to come over here. Shout out to Jose. Hey, okay. Dropping out of half for bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
You know me, I'm team fuck the other side. Shout out to Jose. Salute to you, fam. Phone lines open, man. 530-494-9636. Anybody want to call in, got something to say, call into the show, fam. Phone lines is open. Anybody want to send me gun emojis? Anybody want to threaten me? Anybody say they want to pull up? They want to put hands on me or whatever when they see me? Guess what? This is how I feel about you. Please call into the show.
Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap-ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
It is what it is, man. I'm a little thirsty, man. So we got to say, shout out to Lil Boosie, man. Shout out to my brother, Lil Boosie.
I know I'm gonna get It's money.
Talking water, 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 water. My bracelet cost about 40 and my necklace cost a quarter. Talking water, 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 water. I go stupid like on Boosie. All this jury got me foolish. All this water, 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 water. All of these diamonds, they bright, so you gon' see me at night. All of this water, 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 water. Now I be drip, drop, drip, drop.
Water, 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 water. When your daughter see this water, she gon' let Boosie record. Them little niggas in the A, they making deals off the wall.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Charles from London.
Charles from London. Talk to me.
Right. Just what you guys been talking about in terms of, for example, Tank selling 61,000. Just wondering why people find it difficult, because there was one of your callers that was basically going against Rick's, the numbers Rick called. When you think about the boxers nowadays, most of them do not have any personality. Boxing, I know it's a profession and all that stuff, but it's not just about going to the ring and throwing leather. You got to be an actor. You got to be an entertainer, right? You had Ali, who basically will talk you to death. Mm-hmm. You'll be talking and you'll be forced to watch his fight. Floyd, right? He's got that personality where he'll just basically antagonize you, make you want to go and watch his next fight, hoping you lose. Mm-hmm. You have Tyson, who just go into the ring, blow people out, so the next time you're like, wow, you know, I want to see this guy, right? You got Anthony Joshua, who's got, if you come in the UK, all over TV, he's got adverts and all that stuff. Fury's got his own personality and all that stuff. So people like Tank, especially, doesn't really have any personality. You don't see him on Instagram doing stuff. As opposed to Garcia, who is kind of come from that kind of YouTube kind of, background. He's got his own fan base. As opposed to he's just there really. There's nothing about it. There's nothing about him that's exciting. I wouldn't stay up to watch Tank and Bud and, Spence, because they don't have any personality. And also, most of these PVC fighters, if you think about them, all of them fight probably once a year. And you're like, hold on a second, that's your job. You're meant to be fighting 3 times a year. When you come to the UK, most of the matchroom fighters, minimum they fight between 2 and 3 times a year. So always the fans recognize you. They want to see you, especially if you're in a good fight. Over in America, you got Andy Ruiz, who just fights once a year and he's forgotten. Yeah. Right? So everything, I think PVC is a big cancer in boxing, and that is a fact. I just wonder, why do these boxers sign with PVC? Because you're never going to fight. You just fight one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Basically, I want to try to break it down as best as I possibly can. The PBC got their brand and moniker from Floyd Mayweather. The PBC started in 2015, and people saw what Al Heyman was able to do. Well, you know what? Al Heyman get all the credit for Floyd making this astronomical amount of money, and Floyd has always, gave credit to Al Heyman. But the fact of the matter is, when Floyd Mayweather left Top Rank, he was in essence a Golden Boy fighter, because he was with Golden Boy, and he fought all of the Golden Boy fighters. There was Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather. There was Richard Schaefer, Oscar De La Hoya, Tom Brown. Stephen Espinosa. So it was a team effort. So when people think of PBC, they think of what Floyd Mayweather did, and they think, okay, we got to go to the PBC. It's the place to be because of Floyd Mayweather effect. And once the PBC receives all of this money from the white man, I say this time and time again, because in America, everything is about race in America. You're going to know that a lot, especially online. So everything is about race in America. So, the black man had to get money from the white man, which was Waddell and Reed. Hedge fund. When Al Heyman got that money, he was paying these fighters astronomical amounts of money, because and all of those fighters pretty much came from Golden Boy. A lot of those fighters that was at the PBC, they came from Golden Boy. He took them their whole roster. So now that the money is gone, maybe there's still some kind of mystique there. So this is why you see that some of these fighters who are locked in, already with the PBC, like the Spences and the Charlos and stuff like that, they're fighting, like Jamal Charlo hasn't fought in a year and a half. So the reason why they're not fighting enough is because the white man is not putting up the money. Showtime doesn't have the budget anymore to put up all of this money to pay for all of their fights. Remember, Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather, they don't put the money up for their fights. They don't pay for these fights. Showtime puts the money up. So if the white man, Showtime, don't put the money up, the black fighters don't fight. So this is what you're seeing. And I try to drill that through people's head that that do skin color politics, and that's what's going on. That's what's going on. But I want to say this though before you go. I love the fans and I love the boxing fans in the UK. The boxing fans in the UK are very, very different from a lot of the fans online in America. Online in America, there's a lot of divisiveness, a lot of cliques and crews, very interracial politics, exterior racial politics. These fans over here, they don't care now about boxing. They care about networks, what type of cars they fighters driving. My fighter making more money than you. My fighter got Lambos with suicide doors. My fighter is selling more pay-per-views than your fighter. They care about the narrative on YouTube in America, and boxing fans in UK and in Mexico and stuff like that. You guys only care about you guys, and I'm not generalizing everybody in America, but I'm saying a good number online, just online. You guys care about boxing. Over here, they care about the narrative, the cliques, the crews, the racial politics, and that's the problem, man. So it is what it is, and I just broke it down as basic as I possibly can. But Charles from London, thank you for calling in, sir. We got other calls calling in.
Thank you, my guy.
Yeah. I call that shit the way I see it. You ain't got to agree with it, but it is what it is. That's the way I see it. Shout out to Charles. Hey, okay. He said, great show, coach. On top of that $2 super chat. He said, skills matter, color don't. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So shit, if skin color won fights, shit, goddamn it, Deontay Wilder wouldn't have lost to Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua wouldn't have lost to Alexander Usyk. Marcus Brown wouldn't have lost to doggone Beterbiev. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. Caleb Plant wouldn't have lost to Canelo Alvarez or vice versa, whoever. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So I call it the way I see it. I ain't here to be friends with no niggas. I can give fuck the other side. Y'all know me. I'm team fuck the other side. Y'all know me. So anyways, as it relates to, I'll let you guys hear this. Hold on. It's something else I want you guys to hear. There's something else I want you to hear. There's something that Blood Boxing said, right? So let me get back to what I originally wanted to talk about. So, there's none of these fighters over here in America that are stars outside of Canelo Alvarez. Am I pro-Mexican and hate blacks? No. Am I pro-Mexican and hate whites? No. I'm calling it the way I see it from a number standpoint. There's Canelo and then there's everybody else. Period. Now, you have different levels of success. You have different levels of cash cows. Canelo is a cash cow. You have creme de la creme cash cow, and then you have Chitlin circuit cash cow. You have fighters on the Chitlin circuit. They do well in the Chitlin pot. They do well at the local corner store, the local liquor store, stuff like that. They're hood legends, stuff like that with the boxing fans. But then you have the top guys who doing $19, $20 million gates. So I want to show you guys, I want to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. Because there's a whole lot of flim-flam, and I feel like that I need to be the one to dispel a lot of this foolishness that's going on online. There are no cash cows in boxing right now outside of Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua and maybe even a Tyson Fury. There's none. There's none. None. And when I say cash cow, I mean the top guys who have a net worth, who got, it's astronomical money. Hell, even the PBC offered Canelo according to what they said, they offered him $100 million. They're not offering nobody at the PBC or ESPN $100 million. Why is it that Canelo Alvarez, a non-black fighter, can get offered $40, $50 million guaranteed from a white network that's connected to a black, quote-unquote, advisory promotional company? Why would they offer him that, but nobody at the PBC can get offered that money? This is for you guys who do skin color politics. Why Al ain't open Spence, Guys, Keith Thurman, doggone Danny Garcia, Tank Davis. Why they offering them $40-50 million guaranteed? But they offer Canelo, the same guy that y'all hate so much. Ask yourself that question. Back to what I was saying though. Let's go. I want to cook before I end this show. Ask yourself this question. Now, let me get Troy out the way. Shout out to Troy Graham. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Troy says skin color doesn't win fights, skills and intelligence does. Yes, sir. But anyways, tell that to Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, let's go here. See, I grew up in the era where I know what a cash cow is. I grew up in the era where I know what big gates are and all that stuff there, right? Now this is boxing. This is on wrestling right here. This is wrestling. It's the wrong one. Hold on. Let me get my arm. This is the wrong one. This is wrestling. I don't know how I pulled that up. Y'all talking about gates. Right? Let's look at some of these gates right here. Now, this is just in Nevada. We're not talking about New York and stuff like that, but this is just in Nevada because some of the biggest fights happen in Nevada. This is what you're going to see. This is the top 10 largest grossing boxing gates. This shit that Linda Ellie be talking about, Roland Romero is a star and Tank is a star. He doing massive gates, massive. People like Ryan, people like Booger Ray Leonard, you know better than that. No, they got Chitlin level success. They doing better than that. Cause let's look at this. Let's look at some of these gates. Floyd fought Marcos Maidana. Y'all remember Floyd? Like I said before, Floyd and Marcos Maidana did $14 million, almost $15 million at the gate. When Floyd fought Marcos Maidana again in the rematch, they did $15 million at the gate. When Lennox Lewis fought Evander Holyfield, and shout out to my brother Blood Boxing because I literally got this in Blood Boxing. Blood Boxing is the one that got me doing this part right here. Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield did $16.8 million at the gate. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder did $16.9 million at the gate. Tyson Fury never done a gate like this before in his life. Deontay Wilder never done a gate like this before in his life. Guess what? That means Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they needed each other in order to do a gate like this. Right? Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya. This is when Floyd became Money Mayweather. Oscar De La Hoya passed the baton to Floyd. They did $18.4 million at the gate. Floyd Mayweather and Saul Canelo Alvarez, they did $20 million at the gate in Vegas. Saul Canelo Alvarez without Floyd Mayweather, because people say, oh man, the only reason Canelo did good because he fought Floyd. Okay, this is what Canelo did without Floyd. When Canelo fought Gennady Golovkin, he did $24.4 million at the gate. That's without Floyd. He did more without Floyd than he did with Floyd. When Saul Canelo Alvarez fought Triple G again in Vegas, he did 27. This was the first fight. The first fight, he did $27 million at the gate. The second fight, he did $24 million at the gate. That's Canelo by himself with Gennady Golovkin. Floyd Mayweather also did with Conor McGregor, which is a crossover fight. He did $55 million at the gate. And Floyd Mayweather with Manny Pacquiao did $72 million at the gate. So don't tell me nothing about your fighter is breaking records. It's breaking records and he's some kind of cash cow. I know what a cash cow is. Tell somebody else that bullshit.
True.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, Coach? Corey calling from Texas. How you feeling, man?
Corey calling from Texas. Talk to me, fam.
Will it ever get to a point where this foolishness will stop, man?
No, it's not gonna stop.
Yeah, because yes, I'm saying, because I feel you, because it's just like, we always gonna have the racial politics and the goofy stuff here, but the difference between boxing and the UFC is when people said what happened, and I was talking to an older white guy, he's older white guys, 40s, 50s, a lot of them love boxing, and he said, yeah, my nephews, my sons, my grandsons, they all watch UFC, and the difference is Dana White makes all of them fight, and they don't even get paid as good as a lot of boxers, some of them, but it's just like, at some point, I think it's going to either go to court or like you said, it won't stop, or the boxing is just going to get to a point like, look, if we want this to happen, we got to just say, we're going to make it happen. Like we got to squash it and make it happen, or like you said, it's going to be 61,000 pay-per-view buys consistently.
The fans are not stupid. See, the reason why Tank didn't sell pay-per-view, he sells at the gate. The fans are not stupid. You're not gonna give people a hog head cheese sandwich and tell them it's caviar. You're not gonna give people. You're not gonna give people a pork chop bone and then tell them it's Dom Perignon or it's filet mignon. They was telling us, hey man, this is a stacked card. I told you guys that ain't no stacked card.
Right.
That just names on one side. Fighters that have names, they're not even stars. Bruce Ennis can walk down the street. Won't nobody know who the hell he is if he leave Philly. Errol Spence, same thing. All of these fighters, none of these fighters are stars like that. None of them. They're known in their cities, but these guys ain't big like that. So there's been some kind of illusion from a lot of these different pro network reporters online, because they, like Rachel Donaire said, and shout out to Rachel Donaire, they still want to get access to these. They want to get access to these promoters. So in order to get access to Top Rank, you have to toe the Top Rank line. You will not say anything critical to Top Rank, least you won't have access to certain interviews with certain fighters and Bob Arum. If you are Ellie Sekbach, in order for you to keep your credentials and to get that and to get that suck up from the PBC fighters in those interviews, you have to continue to kiss their ass and say the stuff that they want to hear in order to make them look good. Fight hype, same thing. Someone like Coach Malachi Williams, I don't give a damn about the PBC. I don't give a damn about Top Rank. I don't give a damn about Matchroom. I don't care about none of that. I got my own money. None of these niggas got nothing to offer me. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm the definition of a true independent. I'm a true independent guy. I'm a self-made man. I didn't have to ride no YouTube channels, Wave, none of that stuff. I stand on my own too. I hold my own nuts over here. You get what I'm saying? So by me not giving a damn, it's certain interviews I'm not going to get. I'm gonna call it the way I see it, and I can't be bought. No, I can't be bought or paid for. So that's what it is, man. The fans ain't stupid. You're not going to give them Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia. You're not going to give them Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius and say, "Oh, this a good one, boy. We gonna put this on pay-per-view, and everybody gonna buy it." No, Deontay Wilder did 77,000. Tank Davis did 61,000. The fans have spoken. They ain't buying it. They're not stupid.
And then charge $74. Then you can at least charge $40. Idiots gonna charge you $74 for it. It's crazy. So I ain't gonna hold you up. I know you got people calling, man. It's just crazy, man. It's frustrating, but I hope they wake up and smell the coffee, man, because it's getting goofy.
All right. Hey, shout out to Corey from Texas Lou, fam. Yeah. Yeah, like me, I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a damn, dog. I swear to God, I don't give a damn. I don't care, dog. I don't care. I don't want your press credentials, none of that shit. I give the fuck about your favorite promotional company or network. I don't. No, you niggas supposed to like boxing anyways. If you pro boxing instead of pro skin color politics and pro network, everything will be all right. You niggas is the problem. Call it what's your name when you're calling from.
What's up, Coach? It's the inevitable. D Block, D Town, D City, D-Ville, Baltimore. Stand up. Hey, Coach.
Yes,
great show, man. Great show. I know I called again. I'm sorry, but Dan, you give me excited. Look at this, Coach. I'll tell you the narrative that these people put out here. These YouTubers. Okay, I'll give you something real quick. Let me breathe, God. Let me breathe. So there was a definition of if Tank Davis the pay-per-view king, right? He's because they were calling him the face of boxing. So I tell them,
who is they?
Okay, I'm not gonna mention names. And I tell them, well, what do you think? I don't think he is a pay-per-view star. He did so much, Rick Glaser came out, pay-per-view numbers are out. I mean, they're not gonna lie. It is what it is. Well, you know what? Tank is still, he's still a pay-per-view attraction. And I go, what do you mean? How do you say this? It was because back in the day, in Floyd's day, he was a real cash cow. We're in a new era of when you look at a cash cow, as long as he sells 100,000, he's good. And I said, really? Yeah, because he's bringing people to the seats. I said, so is he a pay-per-view star? or not. I already told you. He sells 100,000. And then I heard this guy the same time 2 months ago say, Canelo's pay-per-view numbers were 500,000. He ain't a pay-per-view star. I'm like, what is it, man? When only it fits your narrative? What do you think about that, Coach?
I mean, it is what it is, and I say this time and time again. If these guys did not have a double standard, they would not have a standard at all. And again, this is not an indictment against Tank Davis. This is just a reality of the situation.
No, it's not. It's not.
Wait, I'm going to answer your question. What it is these guys have a double standard, and they participate in the art of hypocrisy and double standards. When it fits the narrative, they accept it. When it doesn't fit the narrative, they reject it. You can't tell me in one breath Crawford did 148,000 or 140,000 pay-per-view buys with Sean Porter. He's a flop, a pay-per-view flop in one breath, but then ignore the fact that Tank did 61,000 against Hector Garcia, 52,000 against Isak Cruz, and say that's a success. If your metric to success, or Deontay Wilder does 71,000, if your or Spence and Ugas do like 120,000 or a little less than that, somewhere around that range when they fought each other. You can't argue that one is a flop in one breath and then one is a success in another breath when it's your favorite fighter. It doesn't work that way. If you're going to use pay-per-view numbers as a metric for success, if that's what you're going to use as a metric for success, then just say this. Anybody that does 120, 130,000 pay-per-view buys, that's a flop for everybody. You can't sit back and say, well, I'm black, but I'm going to support this one black fighter, but he did these numbers, and then just lie. Well, he did 300,000-400,000. I said, where'd you get that number from, sir? Well, I got it from I got it from Fagnon. Fagnon said his sources told him that's what he did. I got it from Jabba the Hutt. Yep. I got it from the Alphabet Boys. I got it from Basashiko. That's what they said. So I'm going to believe some niggas who are pro-network that got YouTube channels just like me. I'm going to believe those guys instead of believing people who have been in the business for 30-something years who tell you my source come from a cable and satellite attorney, and this is what he does for a living. And he tells you this. I'm not going to believe him, but I'm going to believe you niggas because it fits your narrative. Make that make sense. So that's what it is. And that's all it is, man. Anything else you got to say, D-Block?
Yeah, real quick. I'm sorry. So the thing that I'm looking at boxing now, Coach, it's not what it used to be. I'm being honest with this. I love boxing. It is my love of my heart. Yeah. When you look at Muhammad Ali, when you look at how Muhammad Ali transitioned to Sugar Ray Leonard, and then Sugar Ray Leonard transitioned to Mike Tyson, and then Mike Tyson, it went to Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, and Chavez, and Roy Jones Jr. was a plethora in the 90s. And then you got that going down, and now you got Felix Trinidad. You had a whole lineage of all these great fighters coming at to where people wanted to see who was the best. And now we're at a point now where people are so upset and so gone with this. They're like, no, we don't want this anymore. This is not what I grew up as a young kid, seeing my father or my mother or my family members seeing boxing, seeing legends in the boxing ring. That's all we want, Coach. We want the best. Yeah. D-Block, D-Town, D-City, Baltimore, stand up.
Shout out to D-Block. Now let's get back over here. Let's get back over here, because I want to hammer this home. Because I'm finna hurt some feelings. Now I just showed you guys the top 15 live gates in boxing. No fighter is doing what they're doing. No fighter's doing what they're doing. What those gates I just showed you. Canelo's on that list without Floyd Mayweather. Now, brother D-Web asked a question. He said, what was Canelo before he fought Floyd Mayweather? Well, he was the same thing that Floyd Mayweather was before he fought Oscar De La Hoya. Remember, Floyd Mayweather couldn't sell pay-per-views. He couldn't bring flies to shit. Y'all forgot? See, some of you guys don't remember that. Floyd Mayweather couldn't sell. He wasn't box office at pay-per-view when he was with Top Rank. Did you know that? A lot of you guys don't know that because you just started watching boxing in the Money Mayweather era when Floyd fought Manny Pacquiao. That's when you first started watching boxing. Bob Arum, the same thing that Bob Arum said about Terrence Crawford. Oh, he doesn't sell, he doesn't do this. He was saying the same thing about Floyd Mayweather. True. I have the receipts. This is what Bob does. Miguel Cotto, same thing. This is what he does. He has a history of doing that. So if your argument is Canelo Alvarez wasn't nothing until he fought Floyd, what the hell was Floyd Mayweather until he fought Oscar De La Hoya? I'm just asking for a friend. You get what I'm saying? So every fighter that takes off to the next level, they need the right dance partner. They need someone that's going to give them, pass the baton, so to speak. Those top guys, unless you Sugar Ray Leonard or Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya came out, he was the golden boy. He got the passing of the baton, not only from the Olympics, but when he beat Julio Cesar Chavez. So every fighter, when they become that crossover star, they need that signature fight. This is why it's important that we get the top fighters fighting each other. Because in order for Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia or Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence or any of these guys to go to heavenly heights, they need to fight each other. You can't have Terrence Crawford fighting Hobo Sam. You can't have Errol Spence fighting Ugas. Well, he had a belt. Okay, Ugas ain't no goddamn body. Danny Garcia ain't nobody. So they need, the top guys gotta fight the top guys. Who you fight matters. I keep telling y'all that. This ain't got nothing to do with your feelings. I don't give a damn about your feelings. I don't give a damn about being your friend and your subscribership. I don't. All I care about is the sport of boxing. Some of y'all like dick riding too much. That's your problem. Y'all want to start a revolution, but take your ass out there and start a revolution. You ain't gonna win. You ain't got no resources. The guns come from the white man, and guess what? Your food come from the white man. Y'all been listening to too much Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed. They live in the suburbs, fam. It sounds good though, but let's stick to boxing. Now let's go. Let's go. Let's look at some of these pay-per-views since y'all like to use. No, and this is the thing, right? You're not gonna move the goalposts on me. I'm gonna throw right back in your face what you've been throwing in my face and everybody else on face online. You said that the live gate and the pay-per-view sales tell that your fighter is the biggest star than everyone, and other fighters are not stars. Okay, so I just diffused that. Ain't none of these niggas no stars. And because ain't none of them doing the live gates that was done by Evander Holyfield and Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez and Lennox Lewis and Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. None of them are doing that. They doing good on the chitlin circuit. They doing good on the chitlin circuit. Liquor store, 40-ounce ass niggas. I'm Mad Dog 2020 ass niggas. Yeah, they doing good on that. Power to the people, right? They doing good on that. But all this other stuff ain't got nothing to do with no damn boxing, dog. It ain't got nothing to do with no damn boxing. And I tell you guys this time and time again, and it's a shame that I got to talk to these niggas like children. Because you go to these low IQ ass YouTube channels, then you want to bring that shit over here, then I got to pimp slap and send you back to your mammy house. Don't bring that shit over here. Not with me. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rice Eater. Hey, okay. For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
What you say? You say Ness from the Boston Voice was arguing Tank was pay-per-view star before those numbers came out. Guess that didn't pan out. I mean, you know, hey, shout out to Nessa Gibbs too, man. Shout out to Nessa Gibbs, man. Ness is one of the big channels that really put me on this platform back in the day. But anyway, let's do this. I want to show you guys something. Shout out to Blood Boston. He the one got me doing this. Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas did 1 million pay-per-view buys. That was in 1990. Let's continue. Bernard Hopkins versus Oscar De La Hoya did 1 million pay-per-view buys. This is what stars are in boxing. When you can do those kind of numbers, you can't do it anymore because of the legal streaming. We do know that. But don't tell me your fighter is a pay-per-view star when he's not. You ain't gonna piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You ain't gonna shit on my plate and tell me it's meatloaf. I know better. And this is for you old crescent niggas who be out there pushing these false ass narratives. This for you niggas and your low IQ ass subscribers. Let's go. You see right here, Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, 1 million pay-per-view buys. Let's continue. Floyd Mayweather, Robert the Ghost Guerrero did 1 million pay-per-view buys. The Ghost, right? Floyd Mayweather said he was the Ghostbuster. Let's continue. Canelo Alvarez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. did 1 million pay-per-view buys. That was on HBO. That was in the T-Mobile Arena 6 years ago, 2017. Let's continue. Let's continue. This is wrestling. We're only looking for boxing, wrestling again. MMA. That's let's see. Wrestling again, WWF. Ric Flair, WWF. Well, WWE now. Let's see. MMA, UFC. That's UFC right there. Rashad Evans. UFC again. Let's continue. UFC again. Let's continue. Let's stop. Let's see. UFC again. Chuck Liddell, Ortiz. Floyd Mayweather, Juan Manuel Marquez did 1 million pay-per-view buys. 1.6 million pay-per-view buys, somewhere up in there. 1.06 million pay-per-view buys. That's what Floyd did with Marquez, right? That was 2009. Let's continue. Let's see. See, I ain't impressed with who your favorite fighter is. I ain't impressed with him. I'm just letting you know. Stop trying to impress me with your favorite fighter. I ain't impressed with him. Them niggas ain't doing nothing. Shout out to Canelo. He said Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. Let's see. That's WrestleMania. Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon. Mike Tyson did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys with Bruce Seldon. This is the fight where Bruce Seldon took a dive. Manny Pacquiao versus Antonio Margarito did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, I know it's illegal streaming right now, but don't tell me your fighter is a star. He's selling all these pay-per-views. Canelo's doing better than 60-some thousand, 70-some thousand, 80-some thousand, 100,000, and they're still streaming, right? I don't want to hear the argument that, oh, man, people ain't buying pay-per-view because we got football, baseball, basketball. They got other choices. Guess what? When Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather was selling big pay-per-views, guess what? They still had football. They still had basketball and baseball. That was still around. The only factor is now the streaming is big now. But don't tell me about your fighter's a star. He's not. I'm not impressed with the niggas. I'm not. Just let you know, okay? Manny Pacquiao and Marquez did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. Not impressed with you guys, right? Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania. Let's see. Yeah, that's Trump. That's WrestleMania. Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. You know, I heard doggone Blood say a dude said that Errol Spence was bigger than Lennox Lewis and what he said, some other fighter. Lennox Lewis and Roy Jones or somebody, he said. I'm like, boy, these dudes, but some of these dudes, they don't know shit about boxing. Nothing. I can't argue with these niggas, man. Can't argue with them at all. They dumber than a motherfucker. Shout out to, he said, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. I think that was Oscar's retirement fight. Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Floyd Mayweather, Victor Ortiz, 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Let's continue. KSI and Logan Paul did 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. Guess when they did it? In 2018 when it was streaming. Crossover boxing match. This is a crossover boxing match. Let's continue. Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. And I told you what the gate was for that. Let's continue. Conor McGregor, that's MMA. Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. That was 2011. Let's go. Let's continue. Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. That was 96. Floyd Mayweather, Shane Mosley, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. 2010. Tito Trinidad, one of my favorite fighters. Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. I think this is De La Hoya. Tito Trinidad, De La Hoya. I think that's what this was. This is Tito Trinidad, De La Hoya, I think. Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya. They did what did they do? What the numbers at on that? Why they ain't saying the numbers? It ain't saying the number unless I'm missing it. I don't see the number on this one. Evander Holyfield, George Foreman, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. But you get what I'm saying. Manny Pacquiao, Marquez, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. I've been watching boxing too long, dog. I know what a pay-per-view star is, and I know what a cash cow is. Nobody gonna piss on my leg and tell me what a cash cow and a pay-per-view star is. None of these fighters today are cash cows or pay-per-view stars outside of Canelo, Anthony Joshua, the Mexican fighter and the black fighter. And some would say even Tyson Fury. Right? None of them. There's no comparison. Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. Let's continue. Let's keep going down. Mike Tyson, Peter McNeely, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. Let's continue. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, the first fight, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. Mike Tyson, let's see. Mike Tyson, it should be Mike Tyson and Holyfield on there again. MMA, UFC. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. Mike Tyson was 75 years old. Roy Jones was 62 years old. They did an exhibition match, and they did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. When did they do it? In 2020. So I don't want to hear nothing about no illegal streaming messing it up. They fought in 2020 where there was illegal streaming, and they still did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. Mike Tyson, old ass, and Roy Jones Jr.
True.
Why your fighter can't do that if he's such a star? They had streaming then in 2020. Why your fighter can't do that if he's a pay-per-view star? Cut it out. Let's see. Let's get back to the boxing. Let's get back to the Lennox Lewis. Mike Tyson did 1.9 million pay-per-view buys. This was in 2001 or 2002. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, the famous ear biting, they did 1.9 million pay-per-view buys, almost 2 million, 97. Mayweather, Canelo, Alvarez did 2.2 million pay-per-view buys, 2013. What else we got? Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather. After this fight, Floyd Mayweather became Money Made. They did 2.4 million pay-per-view buys. Oscar passed the torch to Floyd. That was 2007. Prior to that, Floyd Mayweather couldn't bring flies to shit on pay-per-view. He couldn't sell a goddamn thing. These are the facts. Look at what Floyd was selling prior to Oscar De La Hoya and look at what he sold during Oscar De La Hoya and after. The numbers don't lie. Let's go down some more. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, this is the crossover boxing match. And they counted this as his 50th win or something up that way. They did 4.3 million pay-per-view buys. Conor McGregor sold this fight. Dance for me, boy. Remember he was telling Floyd to dance for me, boy. Everybody got everybody got mad. Oh man, he being racist. He being racist. Guess what? Floyd Mayweather didn't get mad. Didn't get mad at all. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao did 4.6 million pay-per-view buys. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, 2020 did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. Let's give everybody a round of applause. I ain't impressed with your fighters. None of them. None of them. Just letting you know. I'm not impressed with them. I don't give a damn what a YouTube channel say. I don't give a damn what Fight Hype, Ellie, Coppinger, Rafael. I don't give a damn what they say. I'm an independent thinker. I can come to my own conclusion based on the information that I research and receive. The fact of the matter is, these fighters ain't selling no pay-per-views on the chitlin circuit because they ain't fighting nobody. That's why they not selling. They're not fighting anybody. Jerron Bruce Ennis, he ain't fighting nobody. Keith Thurman ain't fighting nobody. None of these dudes is fighting nobody. None of them. They're fighting a couple of named fighters that may have a belt here or a belt there, but they ain't fighting nobody. They can't draw flies to shit. I want to say this one more thing. If what Rick Glaser said is wrong about Tank Davis, I have one question for you guys. Can anyone get Steven Espinosa of Showtime to release an official press release denying it and saying these are the numbers that Tank did? Anybody? Anybody? I'm just asking. Just asking. I'm just asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Let's move on to one more thing. I want to show you guys something. As a matter of fact, I may show this tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna show this tomorrow. Because I was gonna talk about your boy Boots, the fake boogeyman of the welterweight division. I was gonna talk about him, but I'm gonna save him for tomorrow. We've been riding for a little bit, man. It is what it is. Shout out to Jorge. He said, Coach, just seen it right now that Fulton and the New World are in talks for a title fight at 122 in Japan for the spring. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it when it's a signed contract and everything is done. I believe it. I believe it then, to be honest with you. Talks don't mean nothing to me anymore. I've heard talks before. And that don't mean nothing, family, until it's official. I am of the opinion that Al Heyman would not allow that fight to happen because it's not a PBC. It's not the same network, nor if it's the same fighters. Nor if it's they're on the same, they're on different sides of the street. I believe that when I see it. I believe that when I see it. Yeah, man, it is. I believe that when I see it, fam. I believe that when I see it. Just being honest with you. Just being honest with you. Nick, shout out to my sister Nick Rich. Shout out to Nick. How you doing, sis? How you doing, sis? I just called it the way I see it. Them old Crescent nigga YouTube channels, they ain't gonna tell you this. They too busy dick riding. Errol Smith still ain't gonna come on your channel and give you no interview. Tank Davis still ain't gonna come on your channel and give you no interview. You might as well be like me. Fuck them. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Period. When I start, I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. When I started my channel, I didn't do this for interviews or to be liked by certain clicks and crews on YouTube. Fuck the clicks and crews. Nigga, do you love boxing? Do you love boxing? Or do you love fighters' jock straps? Do you love boxing or do you love networks? Do you love boxing or do you love how many subscribers, how many followers your fighter got on YouTube and on Instagram and Twitter? Do you love boxing or do you do skin color politics? I don't care nothing about that. I don't. I care nothing about your subscribership, dog. I don't. I care nothing about being liked by your favorite YouTube channel. I don't. I got my own money. I make my own moves. I do what I want to do. And when I go live, they're going to be over here watching me. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You want to know why? Because I'm good at what I do. True, true, true. I talk that shit because I can. I talk it because I can. Numbers don't lie. My analytics don't lie. We the hottest thing smoking. A small YouTube channel. Guess what? We bring 700, 800 out. Can your favorite YouTube channel do that? Can he do that? Anyways, man. Anyways, let me address the people in the chat before we bounce. Shout out to Adrian D Block. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Jaime Rivera. What did he say for me? Say, Coach, you right. These fighters today are straight garbage. That's why people still in the fights, bro. I won't say that the fighters, well, not you didn't say fighters, you said fights. Yeah, the fights. See, you gotta have the right dance partner. Now, if Tank and Ryan Garcia fight each other, guess what? They're going to do good pay-per-view numbers. Tank needs Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia needs Tank. Don't tell me that your fighter is a star. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care if he's popping at the local liquor store. I don't care that when we go in the barbershop, they talking about your favorite fighter. The nigga ain't selling. He doing good at the gate, but he ain't selling no pay-per-views. If you want to see him do good pay-per-view numbers, he better get in the ring and fight somebody. Ryan Garcia, I care nothing about your commercial endorsements. I care nothing about your makeup. I care nothing about your lipstick and your guy liner. You need to fight somebody. Terrence Crawford Spence, both of y'all the same as well. Now, if you're a fighter that's trying to fight the top guys and you're being frozen out by certain networks, that's not your fault. But these networks, these financial advisors and promotional companies, y'all have killed your sport. Y'all have killed the sport of boxing. You killed it. The reason why your favorite fighter getting 1.5 and the rest on the back end, because they don't want to guarantee him a lot of money up front. You want to know why? Because they know there ain't going to be no back end, because he's not going to sell the pay-per-views that's going to be required for him to get the extra 4 or 5 million on the back end. Because of illegal streaming, 1, and 2, they're not matching him up with another top fighter that the fans can get excited about. This is why you got your 1.5 million guaranteed fighter. Ain't no back end if you can't draw flies to shit. I'm saying from a pay-per-view standpoint. You get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I ain't never heard of a cash cow. What kind of cash cow is this? I seen cash cows. Canelo's a cash cow. Floyd Mayweather was a cash cow. Oscar De La Hoya was a cash cow. Mike Tyson was a cash cow. Anthony Joshua was a cash cow. I seen cash cows. Ain't no cash cows on the chitlin circuit. Where? Show them to me. Call them out. Where he at? I don't see him. I don't see him. I'm just saying, B. I'm just saying. I don't care where you're from. You could be from Florida. You could be from Texas. You could be from Maryland. You could be from California. You could be from Illinois. Show me your cash cow. And show me your cash cow, and I'll show you he's not a cash cow. True, true, true. I don't care who it is. Shout out to my brother Retro. He said the best boxing show, hands down. Man, salute to my brother, man. Show him to me. Point him out. If you're a revolutionary and you think that your revolutionary fighter is a cash cow, show him to me and let's measure him up to what I just showed you. He don't even measure up on the Richter scale. Just calling it the way I see it. Show him to me. Point him out. Show him to me. You can't.
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it. Let's go. Stop playing with my fucking name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more. Put some respect on my name.
Shout out to my dog, Johnny.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and sing Al Heyman. I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me? I'm about to
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name, you know.
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
Shout out to AB. You feel me?
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. I did this for the hood. Y'all know I beat that boy.
And let's say a special prayer to those we ran off the block. Please unsubscribe and leave. We don't like dick riders over here. We only want fans who love the sport of boxing more than they love promotional networks and narratives. Learn the commandments.
And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes. He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island. Lord.
The brother said, when I'm gonna get Johnny Rice back on? I get Johnny Rice back on next week. I get him on next week.
We the Charlo twins. We known for calling everybody out.
Please call these people out. Listen, the whole world's looking at you. Call these people out,
What's
please.
up? It's the Jamal the Hitman Charlo. Let's get it. Who want it?
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
Mexican monster.
Mellow.
Listen, man, fuck your narrative, fuck your favorite YouTube channel, fuck your favorite network, fuck your favorite promotional company or financial advisory company. Let's get back to the sport of boxing. Care nothing about none of that. And guess what? If you one of those advisory companies or promotional companies that's watching this show, guess what? I don't care nothing about your press credentials. I don't want it. I care nothing about the interview. I don't want it. I'm the shit over here. You know what I mean? So, and all of them know who I am. I care nothing about it. Whether you come in this show or not, don't make me know, never mind. The growth of my show is not predicated upon you. The growth of my show is predicated upon me getting it from the muscle, my own individual talents, charisma and charm, and my ability to understand SEO and keyword research very well.
Shut that soft ass shit up.
And the best man
Shut
to
that
win.
soft. That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got to. Man, shut that soft ass shit up.
That's why I talk the shit I talk, because I can. These niggas can't stop me. Caller, shout out to Dennis. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Oh, no. He said, just subscribe. Great show. I appreciate that, fam. I appreciate that. You got dudes who hardly fight. These niggas don't even fight. They hardly fight. Yeah, my fighter cash cow. You know, the other fighter, he ain't no cash cow. The other fighter doing bad business. Like, I say this time and time again, guys. In this era, you have boxing fans, the fighters who do the most in boxing, they get defecated on. The fighters that do the least in boxing, they get all the praise. This is the era that we're in right now. This is the era that we're in. Fighters who do this get all the praise.
I do cuss a little.
Do you?
Also, yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck.
You get what I'm saying? This what it is. This what it is. You get what I'm saying? This is exactly what it is. This is the problem. This is the problem. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys, they like stuff like this.
Oh my God, I respected you. I respected you. After my God. I respected you. After my God. Give him after my God.
You second to God, champ.
No. I didn't listen. I respect him. I'm sorry. I respect him.
Come on, for the nigga pass out. Take the picture, please pass out. Yeah, get him before he pass out. Yeah. Hold him up. Yo, we gotta take this guy everywhere. Yeah. Yo, champ.
He needs air.
You need air.
He needs air. Take the picture. Take the picture before you face the picture.
That's my hero, right? That's my hero. One more.
It takes a lot to take a lot to do it. Alright, why you pushing?
Don't worry about it. I got you, alright?
Yeah, man. We got a super chat. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got a cash app that I didn't see. Let me see what the cash app is. Did I do the cash app? Shout out to Will Lynch. Hey, okay. We're dropping out half a bam dub on your boy cash app.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Some of you dudes, that's you. Shout out dude was bowing down in front of the floor on his knees like he wanted to give up some awesome jawsome. That's some of you dudes. That's how some of you dudes act. Some of your favorite YouTube channels, they get interviewed. That's how they act. I give a fuck about the interview. Fuck them niggas. Shit, nigga, you gonna get in the ring and fight somebody or what? I don't dick ride for no nigga. Not me. I'm from Florida, homie. We don't D-ride in Florida. I don't know how you niggas is raised. Shout out to Drew. Hey, okay. Dropping that $2 super chat. He said we bullet Fulton into fighting a new way in Japan. We'll find out if it's official. Shout out to Larry Lopez. Hey, okay. Dropping that. Bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He say talk that truth, coach. Much respect. Yes, sir. Shout out to Jugs. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. He say, what you say, Jugs? Jugs say, he say, great show, coach. Give it to anyone who's listening.
Shut that soft ass shit up.
And the best man
Shut
to
that
win.
soft. That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got to. Man, shut that soft ass shit up.
And before we go, just in case you don't recognize, we will be live tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have commandments over here, and we have a boxing criteria. Go to my community tab and find the commandments. It's there. And we have a boxing criteria. I didn't promote my store today. None of that. I didn't really do a lot of commercials because today I just wanted to talk to the people and let it be known. Again, if you are a fan of promotional companies more than you are boxing, you might want to unsubscribe and leave my channel. If you are a fans of your favorite YouTube channels and you like to put certain narratives, following them old crusty niggas and like the D-Ride, you might want to unsubscribe. This is not the channel for you. I don't like you. Remember that. I'm not your friend. You do not have a friend in me. The only people that I like are people who love the sport of boxing more than they love pushing a certain narrative, more than they love an individual fighter, and more than they love a particular network, promotional company, or advisory company. Shout out to Shay BJ. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Salute, fam. I appreciate that. It is what it is. Once again, it's on. Just to let you know, though, if you what I just mentioned just now, I'm gonna give you a strong dose of my dog Riley before we get the hell up out of here.
Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Yes, sir. Once again, it's on. It's up, Coach Malachi Williams signing out. True Media Today, USA Boxing. Well, we know we the truth when it comes to this boxing stuff, man. We are the truth, and what boxing really matters, man. And let's go on a high note today.
Sunshine when Tank's gone.
I'll smack the shit out in front of everybody.
Only dark times for you.
I mean, just throw Haney's name in the hat. There is no fucking hat.
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
I don't play them type of games.
Leonard Ellaby, why you always talking about me?
Did you fucking learn your lesson from that? With AJ?
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
I'll knock that motherfucker's hole out. Period.
Only dark times for you.
Ain't no hats to throw nothing in here. We're running a fucking business.
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
You fucking idiot.
Leonard Ellaby, why you always talking about?
Shout out to Thug and D. Let's get the calls out the way. Shout out to Rahman. Shout out to Raheem. Sorry about it. Raheem from DC. Shout out to Shaka from the ATL. Shout out to Troy from B-More. Shout out to John from Colorado. Shout out to D Block from Dallas, Texas. Shout out to Reggie from Vegas. Shout out to LC Docs from Omaha. Shout out to Tim from Detroit. Shout out to Rachel Donaire from, I think she's from Vegas or California, I'm not sure. Shout out to my brother Blood, man, right here from Florida. Shout out to Cassidy from London. Shout out to Raphael from Toledo, Ohio. Shout out to Charles from London. And shout out to Corey from Texas. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Too many to name right now. Once again, it's on the boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. True Media Today, USA Boxing. We the hottest boxing podcast on YouTube, hands down. We got less than 20,000 subscribers. We have 700-800 come out to watch us. You know what I mean? We're a small channel doing big numbers. Get your weight up. Get your weight up before you keep when you start talking about me, boy, because I ain't nothing to be fucked up with. I see you guys tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.